Hello again, everyone. Welcome again to another Hangout with Astropreneur. For those who do not know me, my name is Liam, and this is a casual, easygoing hangout where we talk about everything and anything. If you check in your chat, on the top of your chat, there is a pinned message. That is a link to StreamYard. If you want to come in and join the conversation, you are free to do so. Please make sure that you mute your YouTube before you click on that link and come in and join, because if you click on that link and come in and join and you have muted your YouTube, we're going to have all sorts of audio issues. So make sure you mute before you come in and join us. So I already have somebody hanging out in the background to come join in. Let me just bring him in. Hey, Matt.
What's up, everybody?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Let me see who's out there. Let's see. Hey, Gary. How are you? And Dominic. How's things? So, we have to start with the biggest news of the day. Who was watching the SpaceX launch of SN15? Anybody? They nailed it. They took off, they launched, they landed, they belly flopped all the way down, they landed, and it's still standing at this very moment, and they landed about 15 minutes ago. So it is still standing. They're still venting it, but it's still standing. So they have gotten it down. They've actually landed the craft. Now they just need to repeat it and make a few improvements and repeat it again. They're on their way to getting spaceship working. So now after this, they're going to probably do an SN17, I'm guessing, or SN16, and then they'll probably go into the booster stages of launching the boosters and returning them, which is probably going to come up pretty soon as well, I guess, because it's going to be modeled on the SN16. It's just got more engines in it. So you saw it, Dominic? Yes? That's kind of cool. It was really cool to watch it. I watch all of these live launches, and even these testing ones. I watch them all the time. And I've seen the others blow up to now, and I was kind of disappointed in it. But when I saw it nail it today, and it wasn't tilted, it came down straight. So it's not leaning over to one side, and it's not going to fall over. At least it doesn't look like it is anyway. So it looks really good. Did you see it, Matt?
No, sorry, I was asleep.
You were asleep through such a historical event. What?
Yeah, I slept through a historical event.
You know, I used to have respect for you. I don't think I do anymore.
Come on, I have to get nap whenever I can. And watch it on the rerun, you know?
Well, yeah, if you're going to watch it, watch the reruns on the SpaceX site. Because on the SpaceX YouTube, they have, now the video did go in and out at times, but you can actually see the engines moving and so on. So you can actually see from inside the engine area, as well as on this time, which they didn't do before, one of the cameras watching down along the length of the body while it was belly flopping. Hey, Yoav, how are you? The link, if you want to come in and join, the link is at the top of the chat. You just mute your YouTube before you click on the link. The StreamYard link is there. But what they did this time is they put the one of the cameras on one of the upper wings, one of the flaps for guiding it down, and so you could actually see the flaps, the camera move as the flaps adjusted. It was kind of cool to watch. So if anyone wants to join, the link is at the top of StreamYard there in the top of your YouTube chat. There is a link there. You can click on the link and you come in and join the conversation. That accounts for everybody who's on. There's 6 people out there watching right now, so please feel free to click on that link and come in and join the conversation. So, Matt, what are you working on?
Not much this week because
Lithophane, maybe.
Yeah, I did. I did a few, but not many. Not as I normally do because I was preoccupied and had some sad news, and so was concentrating more on the sad news than my printing. So right now I have.
You up.
Yeah, it does. Don't get me wrong. Just for 3 days I've been doing nothing, and those 3 days where I was down, all my printers were like empty, and was actually silent this room. So
Yeah, that must be
Uh,
weird.
Here you go. I can show what I'm working on.
Please do. Kieran, how are you?
A giant beer can.
Giant beer can. I hope you're not going to
No,
fill it with beer, are you?
no, no,
I'm doing fine. Apparently, Matt's not doing so good.
no. Global stomach ache.
Well, we always knew Matt was unwell, but now he's actually sick. So,
Yeah, that's what I've been working on for the past week,
Monster
basically.
cans.
Yep.
You should try and reach out to Monster and see if they're interested in sponsoring you making some of those for events for them.
Yeah.
You really should because they look really good. So you should, like you may have to buy a whole pile of LEDs for them, but they would probably buy them off you. Like if you can get to convince them, they might say, "We have an event and we want these on all the tables, in the centerpiece of all the tables, and we might want 10 of them." Or can you print us a big one, a bigger one that you can put in the center of a table as a centerpiece or something like that? You should try their
Yeah.
events, people. That's probably the way to go because if you can get in touch with their events groups, that's the type of stuff they like to do for their event. It's kind of different and it's kind of cool the way it's done. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely look about it, and also my new girlfriend hopefully will encourage me to
well,
do
if you
that.
if
So
you don't do it, I'll tell her to do it, and then she'll push you and kick you about and push
yeah,
you
I
in the right
need
direction.
sometimes encouragement.
Yeah, she'll do it. I'll you'll bring her in and later on, and I'll tell her that she has to.
Sometimes I just want to concentrate on the design stuff and making stuff and everything else. Like, nah, I don't need to deal with those stuff. You know, but it's the other stuff is necessary to achieve the other stuff. So
Yeah,
one complements the other.
but if you can get someone to buy them, or if you can get someone to say commission a group of them off you, that'd
Yeah,
be fantastic. Loopy Lou,
yeah.
how are you? What's on his to-do list? Okay, so is that a question to me or a question to Matt? Well, if it's sorry, you have a job to do, Loopy Lou. You need to convince Matt to reach out to all of these companies um, like I think he said Coca-Cola said no, but he should reach out to other companies and say, uh, I make these. Would you be interested in buying of commissioning some of them for events that you're doing and go to their events groups? So your job, Loopy Lou, for those who don't know, Loopy Lou is Matt's girlfriend, and she is now. We've just told her now that her task is to convince Matt and push him into getting out there to these companies and trying to negotiate with them to use your lithophanes for events, so you can actually go make batches of them for them.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like if they have big corporate dinners and stuff, they won't be right now. But when this COVID stuff is over, that'd be ideal for those events. They
Yeah,
could be centerpieces on tables and or backdrops on bars. Go to a bar and ask a bar would they want them to put them on the shelves behind the bar.
I thought about to do like like a takeaway menu. I wanted to do, but then put like different samples of pictures in there and some writing and
Well,
what it
start it off
is
with the
and what it does,
bottles.
and then give it to them. You see, though, they have like a brochure. They can look around in the brochure. I thought about to
Well,
do
you
something
have a
like that.
pile of them that you've done already, and you should use those as examples. But you should
Yeah,
like, go to a bar and ask them would they be interested in like you making these for them, and they could pick the beer, the bottles, and so on, and then you can model them and print them, and then you get the right type of LED light for underneath it, and they could have them up on the shelves behind the bar. Or
yeah,
like clubs would be all like nightclubs might like that, or bars would like it, or as I
yeah,
said, the manufacturers like go out to the beer companies and go out to the all of these guys and reach out to them and show them examples of what you do. Right, link. You should actually get some short videos and put them on YouTube. Right, create a YouTube channel with short videos of these, and then send them to that, showing the work that you've done, the lithophane images and the bottles and the cans and all this kind of stuff. And that, tell
yeah,
them you're willing to do it for them, like if they want to commission you.
yeah. I have to see if I can borrow a camera from somewhere. or buy a camera because I still have so much things what I need to buy, and
No, but you can
I'm
use this
like,
camera to record a short videos, very short videos, showing the can and rotate it around with the light underneath it.
yo, oh, I bought today something. I bought actually a rotary device what have a little lamp inside, and it rotates. So I put just the lithophane on top,
Yeah,
the can, and it's a perfect round circle. So the light will shine perfectly through the lithophane, and then it will rotate and show different colors, like
that's a
seven
good
different
idea.
colors.
So that type of stuff you can do
So
short videos of those
yeah,
and show them. And if someone says, okay, how much does it cost each? You can say if you do like you can set a reasonable price because you know how long they take to make,
yeah,
and plus the
two
light from
days.
underneath them. Yeah, but plus the light from underneath and materials and electricity and so on. So you have to add all that together, right? Estimate it. But
40 pound I would sell it for probably. I can sell it probably
you could
before. I
probably do
mean,
more than that, but you could offer it to them as options, and then the more they buy, the cheaper it gets, right?
yep.
So, and then you can say, like, if you want them, it'll say, okay, it'll take me, I can do 4 of them at a time. It'll take me X amount of time to create these. Here's how much it's going to cost you, and this is when I can deliver them. And you just order the lights and then just print them.
Yeah, I thought about to do custom made ones basically because I keep a space open. Hold on.
So you could put the company name in there or something.
Uh, Whatever, basically, or a message.
Yeah, well, that's a bit bright. The camera, there you go, there.
So
Yeah, so
right there, the
you
space.
could do all that kind of stuff. It's a way of raising awareness of what you do, and then it's also a way of revenue to help you support what you're doing. Because right now you're just printing for yourself and you're not making anything out of it.
I know, I know, I know. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's nice. So you should be talking to these guys. I would be on the phone. I would be calling their events people. I'd be sending them emails with links to a YouTube channel with all of this up in the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I'd be
I will do some
advertising it.
work into it.
Hmm?
I will put some work into it and send it
Well,
off.
Luby Lou is going to make sure you do now because we just asked her to.
Yep.
So she'll push you. Here, can you hold on 1 second? I just got a call. You can chat away there for a second. Show parts of your parts, Matt.
All right. No, I can't show my private parts. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm gonna then set up quick a picture. I done this one recently. It's really nice, actually. Only one floor, and the floor is right there. So I'm gonna show that off in a second.
Here, guys, you need to hear this. It's a scammer. You have to hear this. Just quiet now. Listen in. Hello?
Your call got connected to Investigation Department of Social Security Administration. How may I assist you?
You call me.
I did call you. I believe you have received a call from my department and you press 1 and your line got connected to me.
Yes, I did. Correct. So, what's the problem? Hello? He hung up on me. It's a scammer. I take their calls and give them a hard time because it's funny.
Yeah, I hold them up as long as possible so I don't need to talk to the next person.
Yeah, no, I do it, and because these guys are on the phone, so I take their calls, and I give them a hard time over it because I get part of the way into the conversation with these guys, and then once I get part of the way into the conversation, I go along with it for a while, and then I call them out on what they're doing, and then they get all upset because I waste their time.
Oh, sorry. I switched off my devices, but They keep dinging on me.
That's fine. I said I just took a call. Is that the unclaimed YouTube money Is that the unclaimed YouTube money? No, it's not the unclaimed. Apparently, it's the IRS because there's been or the federal bank coming after me because apparently there's been suspicious activity on my bank account.
I know, especially on mine. Not money moving in.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I have a friend who claimed he died in the accident he had in the past 3 years. Yeah, I give these guys a hard time. I think it's funny because once you have them on there if they're on for more than 2 or 3 minutes, right? One, you're taking them away from bothering other people, and secondly, you're wasting their time so they're not making money. So that when you keep them online and you annoy the hell out of them and go along with it, and like I've even done it where I've acted like somebody who can barely hear them, like someone hard of hearing.
Yeah, I'll play
And I
stupid.
changed my voice.
Like, I don't know how to use a computer.
Yeah, I've done all of that, and it was so funny. I give them a really hard. I've had some come onto my do the one where they do the scam with regards to or they want to go into your computer because they want to refund you money. And I have a server with virtual machines on it, so I let them into my virtual machine. But the software they use in most cases gives them two-way access, so they have access to my machine, but they don't. But they may not fully realize that. Most people don't realize you have access to theirs at the same time because it's a two-way opening to what the software they use. And because of that, I go in and I could delete the files off their computer. Yeah, or I'll find pictures on there or whatever, and I'll put the picture from their computer on my screen, so they see themselves on my screen and stuff like this. The pictures of their family members on my screen, and they can say, what they figure out, they think they're on their own screen, but in the background, I'm also deleting their systems. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but that's malicious. You're not supposed to do that.
Actually, no, they're doing it to me first.
Yeah, I mean, you can
So I
defend
can do it.
in
I can
American
do it
law.
in
You can
return.
defend yourself because
Yeah.
you have the right of defending your property. But
Yeah,
in
I
Europe,
understand.
we
Hey,
wouldn't be
Rob.
allowed to do this.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Did you
Hey,
hear
how are
my
you?
phone scam?
What?
Did you hear my phone scam?
No, I didn't hear.
Oh, somebody called me a while ago saying that they were from the federal bank, and that there was suspicious activity on my bank account, and that there's going to be criminal activity taken against me. Scammers trying to get money out of me. So I
They
put them on the
didn't
phone, and
succeed.
we all heard them, and we all talked when we talked to them on the phone.
What, like the one that with the Indians one?
Yeah. Yeah, so I like to keep those guys on the phone and give them a hard time. They realized it, and he hung up quickly. I don't know how he realized it, but he did. But because I only got started in the conversation. Normally, I keep them on for about 5-10 minutes, and after about 10 minutes into the conversation, then I call them out for what they really are. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's funny. I love to see Parogi, I think he's called.
Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious what he does to them.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done stuff like he does, where you go in and delete the files off their hard drive. Yeah, I've done that kind of stuff.
I'm not that smart.
It's not hard because the software they use is two-way. It opens access both ways. So.
I see.
Oh yeah, the longer you keep them busy on the line, the less money they make, and you're wasting their time. So that's always the fun part of it,
And it can be hilarious, the reactions.
I've had a guy yell at me. I've had a guy get so angry because I wiped out his hard drive that he started crying on the phone. And you know what? That's his mistake for picking on the wrong person.
Well, I don't blame him. I don't believe he knows he's scamming.
Oh no, they do.
He's just doing his work.
No. They know. They all know. Because the moment you call them a scammer, they'll admit it. And if you talk to them, they'll come out and admit it, and they'll say, "Well, that's how I make my money. That's how I'm going to do it."
I see.
So they do know they're scamming people, because they're not getting paid a lot, but they do get paid a small amount of the money that they make. but most of it goes to their boss. Like I've seen numbers that some of these guys would make $100,000 a day
Oh, I need that
scamming
job.
people. I'm telling you,
Don't
these
start
guys,
scamming. Dude.
No, I'm kidding.
Otherwise, I have to talk to you for like 4 hours about
Let me keep
printers.
you on the phone, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mesmerized. I'm astounded. It's actually exists.
What are you
Yeah.
printing now?
A basket that I designed because next week we have in Israel a week, a holiday called Shavuot.
Okay.
If I will translate it, called weeks. The translation.
Okay.
This is the name of the holiday, and basically we're celebrating what God gave us.
Okay.
In
like
our land. It's like
Thanksgiving.
we drink a lot and eat a lot of dairy, all the
Okay.
kind of dairy, milk and dairy. We have seven vegetables and grain, let's call it.
Okay.
One it's wheat, one it's Gary, I don't remember how to pronounce it in English. The brother of wheat.
Rye, wheat.
Lie, yeah, I think
Rye.
lie.
Okay.
Pomegranate,
Well, pomegranate. Yeah.
olive.
hmm
Let's see if I remember. Wait.
My wife's father used to call pomegranate grenade because if you throw them, they explode and they go everywhere. So they call them
Yeah,
because he nicknamed them
basically,
grenade.
yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
But pomegranate
Yeah.
really good. I love pomegranate.
In Germany, we have it's called similar, but they're not pomegranate inside. It's made with pineapples, etc., and called a pineapple grenade. And
Oh, I don't know that
it's
one.
a chocolate dessert. It's really nice. Oh,
Oh, yeah, I don't know that one. I know, but pomegranate is really good. I like that.
yeah.
We get the fruit here all the time.
Yeah, I roast some people out the other week talking about ham pineapple pizza, Hawaiian pizza.
Okay.
You
Never.
know,
No.
James.
Okay. Here's my stance on that. Pineapple on pizza is sacrilege. That's food abuse. You don't do
No, not.
no, not a chance. And people who call pizza without cheese a pizza, it's not. It's tomato bread. I'm sorry. You can't have pizza without tomato or without cheese.
So people, is it acceptable or not acceptable? Pineapple pizza.
No, no, no way, no how. What do you think you have? Pizza with pineapple? Is it good or bad?
I don't like pineapple.
I don't mind pineapple, but on the pizza, it's not good. Yeah, no.
I
can't
like
eat.
pizza basic with olives.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that's
you
nice.
like your margarita with olives?
Yeah, it's enough for me.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
four cheese. Four cheese is good.
Oh, 4 cheese. Yeah. Well, see, the original pizza has to have cheese because the original pizza is called a margarita after Princess Margaret, when she visited Italy way back then, and one of the local restaurants invented the pizza, which was just mozzarella and tomato sauce on bread, and they call it the margarita. That's where the original pizza came from. I know this because we had this debate when I was in Italy, in Turin, when I was working there, and one of the guys, a local guy, he told us the whole history of pizza. And he says, so according to this, you cannot have it's not a pizza if it doesn't have cheese.
Yeah, I like the meat. I
Yep.
like different meats on it and mushrooms, onions, green peppers. Not
Yeah,
spicy peppers. Green
there's
peppers.
a place I lived when I was living in Germany in Wiesbaden, there was a place that used to serve fantastic pizza. It was actually across the street from me. It was an imbus, right?
Yeah, Imbus. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was across the street from me. But he made this pizza and he loaded up toppings. I mean, it was about this thick of pizza toppings, and it was so good. It was the best pizza ever. He made fantastic pizza over there. So,
Cool.
so so what's the
So
basket for then? Tell me more about this
then
basket.
it's a basket, and then I'm going to print all the 7 vegetables and fruits.
Okay.
So it's I don't know.
Fruit
You
basket.
call it tamar? I don't know. Wheat,
Us-
barley,
Yeah.
grape,
Rye.
fig, pomegranate, olive, and tamar. I don't think it's called tamar. Let's see.
Tomorrow, I don't know what.
I think it's something like
Palm
Thanksgiving.
tree.
What he's celebrating.
Okay.
The fruit of the palm tree.
Well, yeah, palm hearts. Yeah.
So this is the 7 fruits and vegetables the land was blessed with in here in Israel. So this is the holiday we celebrate. My sister is a kindergarten teacher,
Okay.
and she asked me to print it to her so she could teach them, show them like the real thing, and not bring them the real thing.
Dominic, I do not agree. Anchovies on pizza? No. That's almost as bad as putting pineapple on pizza.
No, whatever your taste bud prefers. That's what I say.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Why
I
want
you
your
wouldn't
cup
take
of
like
tea is-
something salty and put on a pizza? Nah.
Yeah. Oh, how did your toaster go? Oh, he's
Oh, it's-
preoccupied.
yeah,
Something happened.
Yeah. My toaster's still running.
Well, yeah. Did you print the toaster? The 3D printed toaster?
No, I wanted to, but
I haven't. How did your toaster come out? Sure. His audio's gone out.
yeah.
He can hear us, but he can't see us. Or
Oh
can
wow! Look at his power plug.
Yeah. Well, you must remember, a 3D printer does not drain much power,
Yeah, I know.
right? So it's not like I know my laptop uses more power than a 3D printer does.
It's like a light bulb with 3D printer.
Yeah,
mean-
it is. Yeah, it's like a light bulb. It's like a 40-watt light bulb.
Yeah. I mean,
But and that's the old incandescent bulbs. So let's see. He shows the. He said I think he's going to show it to us because he's finished it. But it's kind of cool. What else is happening?
working on a Duff can from The Simpsons.
Oh, he shows the picture of it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull it up. I have 2 different pictures of it.
Duff. But if you're going to do a Duff beer can, you have to do a Homer Simpson and sit him on top of it. You have
I
to
know.
do Homer Simpson. Yep, you have to do Homer. You have to do either Homer or Barney.
Yeah, there's bunny on it.
No, sit him on top.
Yeah.
You have to do one or the other. What do you think, guys? Is it going to be Homer or Barney? We'll do a vote. We'll tell Matt what he has to print. And you got a dual extruder now, don't you?
Yeah.
So you can do 2 colors.
It's already on the building plate. Oops.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
You should try Idea Maker for lithophane. I hear it's good with lithophanes. I haven't tried, but I hear it's good for lithophanes.
Wow.
It's great. Nice.
We can't
Wait
hear
now,
you.
wait now. Let me put you full screen. We cannot hear you, by the way.
Now you can hear me.
That helps,
Sorry, because I have other people in the house. The 0-1 doesn't move. The 0-2 does move. 3 move. 4 move. 5 and move.
Excellent.
The only main problem I have with it, except it did 0 infill, so it's basically magic that it did print. Here, I don't see here. You can see a layer
yeah.
shift,
A small
but
bit,
it's
yeah.
just here. So
That's
what I
weird.
think
That it
happened.
just been in one spot.
So what I think happened. One of the lines while printing shifted a bit aside, like it come off the print bed.
But it's weird that it moved. Well, maybe if it loosened from the bed and shifted, possibly, yeah. Because the
So
fact that
it
the rest of
then
it is
it
not shifted,
corrected itself.
yeah. The fact that the rest of it is not shifting means there was something up to with that one area, which is kind of unusual.
But
It looks
basically, I'm
good.
happy.
It looks great. Are you
Yeah.
submitting it for the competition?
Thank you, Loopy. Yeah, it's for the competition.
Cool. Looks great.
Thank you. And I'm very proud of it because it's actually my first printer, and it's less than a 3 months old, less than 3 weeks old.
It's your first printer? You've never printed before?
Never.
Oh, wow. That's great
Never.
quality for someone who's never printed before.
I feel I got so much from the community.
Yeah.
So I actually here in Israel, before I even opened my printer, found myself helping other people print better.
Good. That means you learned the dynamics.
I feel
of how it
I
works.
learned so much because of the community, and I'm very happy I got into it as well.
Well, you know what? You did it the right way because you studied, you figured out how stuff works, you learned from
Thank
other
you.
people, right? And
Yeah.
by doing all of that, when you got your own machine, you are ready for it. A lot of people get them out of the box, plug them all together, hit go, and hope that it works perfect.
Yeah. Thinking like it's magic.
Like it's
And
a desk jet, a HP desk jet or something.
And I can tell you that the first print I did on it, I did stock. I didn't do nothing beside plug what I needed to plug.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Banshee. It was okay Banshee, not great. But then I did the sliced model of the statue of the woman.
Okay.
I gave it a gift to my sister. It's like a statue of a woman without hands, without a head.
Okay.
Oh,
And
one
it
of the
was-
Greek statues.
And it was perfect. You didn't see no seam line. You didn't see layers. You didn't see nothing. Then I printed a Groot, the bust of the Groot.
Baby Groot, yeah. Oh, full
No,
Groot.
not the
okay.
baby, full Groot. You don't see good.
No, look, yeah, white is really bad on camera, but but I can see
But
that the detail looks good.
It's crazy good.
What printer did you get?
CR6 Max.
Okay.
And I truly recommend it. It's very forgiving. I believe it's very forgiving printer. What I did do to print better. So far, it's not perfect, but I'm getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I did the e-steps.
Yep.
Apparently, I over extrude a bit. Instead of 100, it was 97 and a half.
So you under
think-
extrude, okay.
Um,
You know, like if you did the E-step measurement, you can set it in the firmware so you don't have to do that. You can always extrude properly at 100%.
how?
Right? What you do is you connect a laptop or a computer to your printer over USB. and
I'm
you-
afraid to do that. I have also Octoprint here.
No,
that
but
I'm
not
planning-
you don't have to do Octoprint, but you can just use a laptop. And what you do is there's a software called Printerface, right?
Okay.
And in Printerface, you can actually type in M commands and send them to the printer. So there are a sequence of commands that you have to do. You tell the printer to you heat up the hot end, and you tell the printer to extrude X amount of material, and let's say 100 millimeter, and you do it slowly. So you set a speed when you're extruding. Let's say S would be 50 or something. It's not very fast. So you extrude slowly, because if you extrude fast, you're not going to get a consistent line, right? So
Okay,
extrude it
yeah.
slowly. So what you do is you measure the material from the because that's a Bowden printer. So where the filament comes into the extruder, you measure back 120 millimeters and put a mark, and
Yes, I did.
extrude 100
I
millimeters in.
did it manually.
Yeah, well,
I took out the Capricorn cube,
yeah,
mark 100 millimeters,
yeah.
and then extruded and waited to see, and then I saw how much I needed left to do it.
Okay, so
I did
whatever
it
was left.
without hitting the head, so the filament will come straight.
Well,
I
you
see.
should do it with heating the head, because it should not extrude without heating the head. If it does, there's
Okay, I
that's
don't
not
remember
right.
how I did it exactly, but I followed the gym guide.
Okay, so yeah, Jim's guide will actually tell you to heat the hot end. If you don't heat the hot end, the extruder will not work. It's designed to not
Yeah, it will
extrude
stuck. It will
and
get
then
stuck
cause
to plastic.
problems. Yeah. So what you do is, and then what you do is, once you do a small calculation, the old number divided minus the divided by the, or no, the old number minus the new number divided by the
Yes, I have it
settings.
somewhere here written.
Yeah. But in Printerface, then you can type in M commands to put in the new sequence, the new proper number, and then you do an M500 to save it, and then it's permanently saved, so you don't have to under extrude. At 100% extrusion, it will always extrude the right amount.
I see.
So you compensate it by changing your extrusion rate, but you don't need to do that. You can actually do it in the printer. So at 100%, it will always extrude the right amount of material.
I will check it.
Yeah, I don't. There's lots of videos out there on how to do it, how to do your E steps. Now, did you do your X and Y steps as well?
What do you mean? It's different here in this machine actually,
Why?
because it's an automatic bed. It's automatic leveling. It's in there is a probe inside the bottom.
No. It doesn't. No, that's not what I mean.
What I did, I unscrew here the Z bolts
Okay.
on the top. I need to talk quietly. Sorry.
Sure.
On the top, and then I moved them with a piece of paper underneath, like
No, I'm not talking about leveling. I'm not talking about leveling the bed. I'm talking
So?
about. Do you know the way you calibrated your E steps?
Yeah.
You also should calibrate your steps for X, Y, and Z. So what you do is you get your print head and you put it in a spot on your bed, and you get a pin or something long and flat and pointy attached to your print head, and mark on a piece of paper where it is, and then move your X carriage 50 or 100 millimeters to one side, and mark it and measure how far it traveled, and that would give you dimensional accuracy in X. You do it on X, Y, and you also do it on Z. On Z, what you do is you put
Okay.
a piece of like masking tape or something along the Z, and then get it to move up and have a pin there to mark it. Mark the start position, move Z up 100, mark it, and then measure it if it's 100. If it's not 100, do the same calculation, and now you have dimensional accuracy not only in E steps but X, Y, and Z also.
I should do it then.
So when it draws a 100 millimeter line, it's exactly 100 millimeters long.
Yeah, I see.
So
Okay.
it's similar to what you did already. It's just that you're doing it on the moving axes instead.
Okay, I will check it.
Yeah, there's some good
Okay.
videos out there on how to do that as well. It's well worth it. Let's see what you say. You don't need a Printerface. You can make a G code file. You can do a G code file, But Printerface is just easy to plug it in, and you can just type in the command to move your x-axis and move your y or z or your extruder. Hit go, and you can even set the speed of it so it actually extrudes slowly. And then you type in a new number, and then type M500 and save it, and you're done. So I like doing the Printerface way. It's just I find it easier for me instead of having to write a G-code file. Well, you should try it. You should measure your dimensional accuracy, and then after that, you need to look at maybe looking at, you know, the way the 0.1 did not move. You need to calculate after that your extrusion multiplier.
Okay.
That's another one to investigate, because extrusion multiplier is based on the filament dimensions of the filament, the average dimension of the filament, and the extrusion rate, and by how much material it lays out. So, if you ever do printing with a corner, the sharp corners might be like looking a bit like there's a lip on the corner, right? Let's see here if I can show you this. I have an example here because I did one recently. Let me put myself full screen so you can see. So you see here, see the way the corners look a little large? They're bumped out.
Yes, I see. I had it in some of my print.
Yeah, well, to get rid of that, you do what's called an extrusion multiplier. And there's a bit of math, again, simple enough math, but it's based on the material thickness, the average dimension, because it will vary. It extracts the exact amount of material, and also you also decrease by default settings in your printer. What's it called? The acceleration, no, not the acceleration. What's it called again? The jerk and acceleration settings are normally set too high, so you can actually back them down. Let me open Cura and find it. Let me. I have it here. I think it's the acceleration and the jerk control settings is what you change, and you back them down so it actually doesn't. It's like flow rate. Yeah, that's what it is. The extrusion multiplier is your flow rate. That's what Dominic said there. And hey, Dum, how are you? But if you set those as well, you actually on corners it actually slows down the extrusion at the corners. This does, right? And also the acceleration and jerk control settings will, if it's set too high, it's going to be moving really fast. It's hard to slow it down. So you back it down so it slows down over a longer distance. So there's no sudden jerk at the end, a sudden stop before it changes direction. So that stops the slight overflow on the corners, which it will do because of inertia, and it gets rid of those little lips in the corner. It's all learning about tuning. But
it's playing and trying again and trying again.
Yeah. Have you? What's his name? Michael in Teaching Tech. Have you? He's got a GitHub site, and on his GitHub site, he has a page. You go through and you enter information into it, and it gives you test prints to run, and they help you calculate and fine tune all the settings in your printer.
Oh, I need a link.
Let me find his site and I'll post it. It's what's it? Teaching Tech.
Liam, I'm gonna pop off for half an hour, so I'll be back.
Sure. Let me get his. He's got a GitHub site. Let me get there, and I'm going to send you the link. And the whole thing is about printer calibration.
See you guys soon.
Okay, I'm going to paste it into general chat so everyone can have access. So get that link. He's got a whole pile of different things you go through. It covers like checks to do in your frame, how to PID tune your printer, first layers, baseline prints, extruder E-steps, slicer flow calibrations.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember I saw it, this video.
It's really good. And it'll build sample files for you, G-code files, and you just print them on your printer. And it'll give you ideas of what you need to do to optimize it.
Okay, I will check that.
Yeah, Michael has good stuff. He's a good channel. You should follow his channel. It's a good channel.
I'm following it already.
Yeah, good, cool. Yeah. So yeah, he's good. He's based out of Australia, but he does really good, plain, honest reviews, and he helps fine tune a lot on your printer. So it makes a difference to your print quality.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's really good. I would recommend anybody new following that site. I recommend newbies to use it all the time.
You want to see what I designed for the basket and everything?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Again, guys, anyone else who's out there who wants to come in and join, top of YouTube chat, there is a StreamYard link. Make sure you mute your YouTube before you click on the StreamYard link.
Do you see it?
Join us. Yeah, just let me bring it up the screen. There you go. Well, that's nice. What did you design it in?
Tinkercad.
Even the basket in Tinkercad?
Everything.
That's a lot of work in Tinkercad.
Not that much. Look. If you look, it's basically few parts that I glued together.
Yeah, you make one and then you turn it and attach it and turn it and attach it.
Yes, exactly. And now I have a problem. Now I back. Yes.
Okay.
Most.
And you even
That's it.
included supports in your design as well.
Yes, I yeah. Yeah, I did it because I tried to slice it and I saw it will have problems.
Well, you can actually you could use the supports that comes with Cura, but you can go in and remove the supports that you don't want using the support.
I know,
widget.
but it didn't let me there because there is a bottom. And because there is a bottom, it cannot print
No, you
support
can
on
you
the
can use
on the item.
you can do support blockers even then.
It didn't let me do support there. I did support everywhere with 45 degrees, the best support there is,
Yeah.
and it didn't put support inside no matter what.
Did
Only
you
on the
have an
outside.
option? Did you have an option turned on to off the print bed in your supports? There's an option in Cura. Let me find out exactly what the name of it is. Let me find it here. There's an option in supports, and it's called. Come on, turn on. My machine is busy because I was doing some other stuff today. You have the option to tick in supports to say, generate supports. Where is it? Oh, where is that option? There's an option in there. I can't remember what it's called. Build. Yeah, there's an option there. Thank you. Called build plate only. And if that's turned on, if it's a large print, unless you're using tree supports, it will not put support on in with something that has a base because it wants to do it off the build plate. And the way to bypass that is either to turn that off or use tree supports, which will come out from the outside of your part and curve in and come up under the piece, which I don't recommend you do, but you can do that. So you can check if you have the build plate only option enabled. And if you do, turn that off and it will print supports on top of
I don't
existing
find
material.
support what?
It's called build plate only is an option. It's called support placement, and you have touching build plate or everywhere. If it says touching build plate, it will not print over support on an existing part. If you go into support, expand support, underneath support, you'll have a area called support placement in Cura.
I don't find it.
1 second. Let me maximize my screen.
Or distance, direction, brim.
Yeah, let me show you.
brim.
I mean, just maximize. Oh, why is it maximizing the wrong screen? Here, let me share. Let me share. Share screen. I have to share a whole screen. So let me give me a second because I have.
Build. Okay, it's
Okay, so once you share screen, 1 second, and I'm going to do this one. So you see my screen
yes.
over here in supports. You have the option here for support placement.
Oh, it's blurry.
That's because my screen is so big.
Okay, never mind. I will try to
And
do.
yeah, let me actually. I tell you what. Let me overlap this screen and bring it down here, and it wouldn't be as big. So let me shrink it down here, and I'll do screen sharing, and I'll reshare what I'm already on. Share screen. I'll share this one, and it's going to be all multiples of
Oh
things.
yeah.
Give it a second. There. That better?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
under support placement, you have touching build
Ah,
plate
okay.
or
Yeah.
everywhere. If you choose everywhere, it will print on top of an existing surface. If you do touching build plate, if there's not if they can't reach an ordinary vertical support, cannot reach it, it'll put no supports in there. So turn
Okay.
on
Good to
everywhere,
know.
and it will print. It'll put supports on top of another part.
Good to know. Okay. Didn't know this option.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So check your settings. It might be build plate only. You just have to change that.
I have a bit stringing inside.
That
Yeah, I have a few lines that got.
okay. If they're very very small, very thin hairs, you can fix that by using a hair dryer, and they'll melt.
Ah, no, I know. Hair
And
dryer or lighter.
well, no, a hair dryer is better because a lighter the heat will actually could cause damage. A hair dryer, will actually melt them and cause them all the shrivel away to the
Okay.
sides out of the way, and then you just give them a rub down with a rough cloth, and it'll break off.
No, it's the little lines that got on the side.
Yeah. So
Basically, it's hilarious for me because I did center everything, and apparently it's not center exactly
did you center it
as
in
I see
Cura?
it. No, on Tinkercad between the parts, the
Yeah, that's
parts
what I
with
mean.
the
Yeah, but when you bring in the part, you have an option in
with L,
Tinkercad
Control
to
L.
do an alignment.
Yeah. This is how I align them. And basically what I see here it's printing. There is an air between. You see
Oh, so
the
what
circle.
happened was when you did the first part and stacked it, you didn't mesh them. They were not perfectly aligned, and there was a small, tiny gap of.
Apparently,
And
yeah.
what you should do is you should make it a little bit negative, so one actually goes down into the next fraction, maybe by 0.1 of a millimeter. So you can actually see the lines crossing over in Tinkerhead, where one goes inside the other, and that,
Yeah, I saw everything, but
yeah.
mm,
And did you group it when you were done?
yes.
Okay, because if you don't group it, it will not. It will see a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what happened to me with the custom support I did. It didn't put it in Cura.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't print it, and then when I grouped them together, it let me print it.
Prusa Slicer. I like Cura. Prusa Slicer, the new version, has a paint on support
I
option.
know. I want to check it.
Hmm.
The big problem here for me is there is no profile for this machine or
Oh,
the
it's easy to set it.
delete.
You take the same settings out of Cura and put it into Prusa. The
Okay.
start code, the start and NG code, the whole lot. You take the same settings and you just go in and you go through line by line and make sure the same settings. They're not the exact same name, but they're similar names inside in Prusa, and you just set it up that way and do a couple of
Okay.
test prints to make sure it's okay.
I will check it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
because Prusa has more to offer than Cura.
Oh, also try. I really like Idea Maker.
Really?
Idea Maker is like, especially for doing mechanical design parts. Idea Maker does a fantastic job with them. I've printed a part. I'll give you an example. Let's say it's the cube again, right? This little design, and let's say I put in 30% infill, right? But Idea Maker would look at the part and say, I don't need infill over here or over here. So what I'll do is, because it's smart, it will actually print, if there's a, let's say there's a, and it's hollow in the center, right? And there's a base. It will actually build the base, support under the base, like as an infill, and then build up the walls of the base out towards the outside without having to fill in the space as much. So it's actually smart about how it uses it when it does mechanical parts. It's really good. Cura to Prusa and Idea Maker. They're not yes, translating them can be tricky. I don't use it Prusa a lot. I've used it a handful of times. I like Cura, but I really love Idea Maker, and I use Idea Maker for my IDEX machines because it's got a tick box to say this is IDEX. The other printers don't have that. The other ones don't have that. So it's actually by its own nature, it understands what an IDEX machine is. It's designed around IDEX machines, and it's custom built and it's modern, and they're always changing it. They're always adding new features. So I like Idea Maker. Prusa they do updates, but it's slower. And Cura is always updating, but again, it takes time. Idea Maker, I've seen them turn around fixes and enhancements in about 9 weeks. Okay, you're an S3D. Okay, S3D was a fantastic slicer, and I'm going to get people are going to shout at me for what I'm about to say, right? S3D was fantastic. They haven't updated it in years. It's no longer fantastic because it hasn't been updated. They've
It's
been
like Sculptris.
Which one?
Sculptris.
I don't know that one.
It's a 3D program to make 3D models.
Yeah.
That it's like you play with clay. You
Oh,
stretch it,
sculpting. Yeah.
but it's not updating anymore.
Yeah. Well, like as Dum Dum just said, he said, yeah, it hasn't been updated in 2 years. I would say it's even longer because 2 years ago, they had small patches coming out. They haven't made any real changes, and they've been promising for over 2 years now for new features when everybody else has surpassed them already. So they are so far behind, they would have to reinvent the whole wheel to become a big slicer, and you have to pay for it. And it's not cheap. Well, why would you do that when you have Cura and Idea Maker and Prusa Slicer out there that can do all of the work without having to pay for them, and they're really, really good. So
Basically.
yeah. So that's why I'm not a fan of S3D. And that's why you're switching. Yeah, that's a good reason to switch. Yeah. But Idea Maker is fantastic. I'm starting to fall in love with that product because it's doing so, and they're like, I've had in 6 months they've done 3 releases with new features. And some features you can just go to their website and say, I want this and I want to download it. Like they've added a new feature where they add texture to a print. So if you take a standard plain straight surface print, they have predefined textures that you could, or if you had your own textures, you can import them and it would apply the texture to what it's printing. Like an image, it will apply that texture for the image into it.
Yeah, this one thing that I didn't succeed to do. Put an image for a reference in ThinkACAD. I know there is an option for that, but I didn't succeed to do it.
How do you mean an image for reference? Explain.
For reference, like I want to make something, and I have a photo of something that has this shape that I want to get to. So I want to take the photo, put it in Cura, so I will have it on my face near me, the photo for reference, and I can make the object that I need.
You can import a photo into Cura and save it out as an STL and import the STL into Tinkercad.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, Tinkercad will take STLs. So
Okay.
if you pick a photo what it'll do is Tinkercad will make a will turn an image into a printable image like a lithophane, right?
Okay.
But you can bring that in. You can bring that into Tinkercad as an STL file.
I will check it. Great.
So give it a try. That might work for you.
I'll check it. By the way, the toaster I made it at 75 millimeter per second.
That's fast printing. That might explain why the 0.1 is not
Okay.
because if it's moving fast, it has to slow down and it might overshoot a little bit, which is the jerk settings and so on I was telling you about. And if it overshoots a little bit because of inertia, that would actually could cause that to happen. And that could be it. I would try that. There's other smaller tests.
Another one more.
No, there's other smaller tests for testing extrusion rates.
Okay.
And do it slower. I would and you must also remember it says 75 millimeters a second. You're not actually printing at that speed. The reason why is it takes time to
the
speed
movement
up.
is 75.
No. It only do that in a straight wall. If it's a long straight wall, it will build up speed to 75 millimeters a second because it has to go from A to B. It has to accelerate, and before it gets there, it has to slow down.
Slow down.
So
Okay.
On a straight wall, it's only doing 75 millimeters for about this much of a piece that long, because there's an acceleration time and a deceleration time involved. So you never get 75. You're probably getting close to 50 in a lot of cases, but maybe even 45. But I would slow it down and never.
No, I did it only for this print because I thought it got delayed. I thought I didn't have time to do it with infill or to take it to print it at 55 or 60. So, but it worked. I'm happy.
Yeah, well, it looks fantastic. It looks really fantastic. That for one of your first big builds, it looks really good. Yeah, Dominic was saying that he's Prusa Slicer does better for repairing meshes. Cura can repair a mesh, but if you really want to repair a mesh, you use Mesh Mixer. Bring in the Mesh Mixer, and it's designed for fixing meshes. Let that do the repair for you, then save it back out again, and then do it there. Because you can actually go in and do big time repairs with Mesh Mixer. That's what it's designed for.
I don't understand why not everybody put all the programs together for one big that does everything for you, and that's it.
Maintaining it would be a nightmare. And
everybody one piece of the pie.
Well, everybody wants to make changes to it, and if you did it all in one, there's good and bad in that. Like if it's going to do a repair in a mesh and it has some repair features, that helps the basic user. Someone who wants to do more advanced repair will use something like Mesh Mixer to do your repair. And there's other software out there that's free that you do mesh repairs as well, right? You can paint and fill in areas. But if you put too much into one, you have CPU power involved that you need to have more, and memory, and to maintain it is hard. And you must remember, these are free software, right? So one is not, like a lot of them are open source, and the guys who does one may not have the knowledge to do mesh repair. And the person who does mesh repair may not have the knowledge to do to calculate your extrusion rates or calculate the necessary geometry needed for tree supports and all this kind of stuff. So people build to their strengths. And I like the idea of them being separate apps anyway, because I want something. If I have a big job some of the stuff I slice can
something specific, time. To go there or to go there.
Yeah, but it takes time to slice. Some of the big jobs I have takes time to slice. If I do something really, really big, right? If it's complex, it takes a bit of time for the slicing to run. And I want to work on something else while that's busy. Or I want to render over here what I'm slicing here for my printer. You know, so you don't always want them
The
side by
toaster
side.
took me around 20 minutes to slice because of its size.
Well, yeah. So that's down to two things: your processor and memory in your computer. The more memory you
My
have, it
computer is
slices.
very strong. I have a i9
Okay, 12 core. Okay,
with a Quadro RTX 5000. I think the one of the 6 gigas,
okay.
and what more? I have a 32 gig drive,
Solid
32
SSD.
gigabytes.
Okay,
A processor, not a drive,
okay.
processor. And I have a memory of 2 tera.
So I don't know why it took that long, and it shouldn't take that long. Maybe, well, I suppose I'd imagine it's because there is such close proximity to the parts, and it has to break them up to slice
Maybe
them.
because of internet. I'm
No,
working
it
on
shouldn't
Wi-Fi.
be. It shouldn't be either because when you slice locally on your machine.
Hmm.
So it shouldn't be unless you slice in the cloud somewhere. So, yeah, it shouldn't take that long.
I
But
will check. Maybe I have bugs or stuff.
it came out very well, though. The print came out fantastic.
No, the printing. I'm happy
Yeah, it looks great. Um, the I think the biggest what? So how long was that print? How many days?
because of the 75 millimeters per second. It print only in 4 days and 8 hours.
That's not bad.
No,
But it was mostly
the
mostly
previous
walls.
one,
How many? How
the
many
one I did
walls?
purple, the one I did purple that I sent on Twitter, um, was with a 7% infill. I thought it will be enough with a gyro infill.
Okay.
It looked in the slicer enough for me for this size, and it should have taken 6 days in 4 hours. But I had a failure twice, so I went with no infill.
Well, the longest job I've done it. I've printed up to 9 days. One single job. One part.
It's
And
okay. I can print if I want, really, really want to. I can print the elephant that I got in the memory card.
yeah.
It will take me a week and a half to print it. It's the whole size elephant.
Oh, that's. I don't know why they supply that as part of a slice because that's just a waste. Nobody's going to print that. That's a spool of filament gone.
This one is almost a spool of filament
Yeah, but that's
with
different.
no
You did it
infill,
but you did that for a reason, right?
of course.
But like doing a test part of the size of the elephant that fills the whole bed, that's just a waste of material. I'd rather do overhang tests, which I do a lot of, like for testing because I test a lot of printers. Um, so I'd rather do overhang tests and retraction testing and bridging tests and stuff like this because that will give you an idea of how good your printer can hold up, right? Um,
Yeah.
that's the type of stuff I do, and I do some vase mode stuff because I like to see how it handles vase mode. You know what vase mode is?
Yes, I never tried yet, actually.
Okay, it's
I'm
basically a
scared of
single.
it a bit.
In Cura, it's called spiralized outer contour. Is the setting, and basically what it is it prints the base, and then there's a single extrusion all the way up layer upon continuously. It's like a spiral all the way from the base all the way to the top of your print.
I think my printer will talk when if I will do it.
I'm back.
Well, it sounds like your printer is well tuned because you're getting good quality. But
Yes, but when I noticed in this print, when she print in circles, she started making her sound like "Ew."
well, that's because what it's actually doing is it's not actually doing circles. You must remember an STL file is a series of triangles.
Of course, it's one in front, back, and
Well, yeah.
diagonally.
So a circle is not round. It's a series into a printer. It's a series of straight lines that it uses to make up the circle. So if you see in
Yes.
Tinkercad, you draw a circle in Tinkercad, it's got lots of flat sides, right? And because it's polygons. And if you
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
multiples of them, yeah, there's one. Look, see how the flat sides are there in Matt's design.
Yeah, yeah, I saw.
So, so the smaller you make those, the more polygons you have in your design, because that's what it's made out of. But it's actually making a series of small straight lines, and because it's doing that, that's why it makes noise.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
changing direction continuously, and that's what does it.
So it's not bad that I heard the sound.
No. When you're doing
Okay.
designs like that, it's common, especially on a lot of curves. And there are ways to streamline those curves. So if you design something, there is there's a plugin you can get in Octoprint, and it's called, what is it called again? Is it called mechanic? No, is it 3D? Is it mechanic? It's called. Um, I'll think of it in a while. I remember someone else might prop it up here, but what it does is it looks what looks like a curve, and it actually tries to generate a smoother curve for you on parts that
Arc
are shaped.
welder?
Sorry,
You're talking about arc welder?
arc welder. That's it. Yep, and it will
I
smoothen out
tried it.
curves for you.
I tried it, but the problem I had with it is jumping you to the G code. You need to change something in the G code to make it happen, to save it. And I'm afraid it will hit with the thing that has masked to be in this printer specifically. It has to start with a G28 and not
Okay,
J28, G29.
Okay, that's an auto home, and that's a bed level, right? But
Okay.
and you can still add that into it. You just add it to your start G code. But Arkwell, some people get a lot of success with it. Some people don't. Like Gary said, that he had problems with it. But I've seen it work. What it does is, it takes your two. Let's say you have here. You say you have multiple points. Let's say these are straight lines. Okay. What
Yeah.
it does is it looks at multiple, at least 3 or 4 lines in a row, and see if these are forming the shape of a curve. And if it does, you have tolerance settings in it, and it will actually take these, what would be a straight line from A to B, it actually turns it into a curve from A to B and does the calculations for you. And it also really shrinks down the size of your G code, because instead of doing a whole series of commands,
Of
it actually
movements, it only do one.
builds one. Yeah. Yeah, Arcwiller can have problems with tree supports. It does, because it is not designed to recognize a tree support, and it tries to modify it. But standard supports it ignores, because they're never curves. They're always straight lines. So, but it does work. Arcwiller really helps on curved surfaces. If you want to smoothen out the curve, it really makes a difference. Again, it's still using polygons, but it makes smaller
It's
polygons and
fine for
smoother.
me.
Well, if you're happy with what you got, you're happy with what you got.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's not
You,
perfect. I will not
yeah.
print with it stuff for a rocket for NASA.
Why? I do.
Yeah, there is a lot of STLs out there.
Yeah, but I print rockets out of mine all the time. Or I print hens. You see this?
You've got oh yeah. Oh, what about making a human head, a bigger one?
You can. This is for the child.
Nice.
So, and this is a moving function. You can actually use this. A person can use this as a prosthetic. It's a prosthetic for someone, for a child.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw all the prosthetic 3D
Hmm.
prints.
That was resin printed. I have
I'm
some
not
resin printers.
planning to go to resin.
if you don't need it, don't. Unless you're going to do miniatures or some like detailed. If you're into doing figurines, like superheroes figurines and stuff, then there's no need.
No, maybe I will. The only place I will be
Hey, Albert.
using it, it's at my college,
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
where we have already a resin printer. I don't need to mess it. I just give him to do it.
oh, okay.
He doing the cure. He does the cleaning and everything, and
Oh,
I
that makes
just
life easy.
taking out the support.
Well, yeah. So he'll do this. He'll even do that for you. He'll take the supports up before he cures it.
Yeah, he doesn't let us touch
Yeah.
the print.
Well, the plugin gives you 2 versus G code, one with and one without the arc support. Yeah.
Why? Why he give you two?
Because it takes in your G code and gives you the optimized version and the non-optimized version out of it. But it actually shrinks your G code as well. So if you have a really big file with lots of curves in it, the file will be very big because there's lots of little movements. Arc Welder smoothens out those, and actually, because it smoothens them out, it actually shrinks the size of your G code file.
I actually have a Octoprint that I
Yeah.
bought already.
Did you
I
buy
didn't
your own
start
Pi or
working.
did you buy Octoprint?
Hmm?
Did you just buy your own Pi and you're going to set it up yourself?
Yes, I
Okay.
buy it, and Josh from Alien 3D
Yeah.
helped me and sent me a memory card with the Octoprint on it already.
Octoprint is nice. If you
The
ever get
problem,
this, go ahead.
the problem is I have it's because a lot of the CR6 SE, the little ones, when people plugged computer or a Pi to in with a USB card, it burned the computer, it burned the printer. So I'm scared to do it.
But that was in the early versions of this SE. They fixed those, I
Yes, I
believe.
know, but still, it's still
Yeah.
scary.
Okay. You know what you can do? You can get power strips. You know power strips that you get for electricity? And some of
Okay.
them have USB ports in them where you can actually run a USB port in and a USB port out, and it does surge protection on the USB port as well.
I will check it.
Yeah, so you can get a little power strip with USB surge protection built in.
Okay.
So you might be able to plug in your Pi in there and then plug the other side of it into your printer, and
To
it'll
the
protect your
printer,
printer.
and it will correct themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you ever get to the point where you have lots of printers, I don't know if you will. I have about 18 or 20 here. But if you ever
It's
get to
my
the point,
planning. I don't know.
well, if you ever do, Octoprint is
One
really
is not
good.
just enough. You have to have more printers.
Yeah, one
Are
is
you?
never enough.
You're
I
hooked now
know, but
already.
when I said it to
So,
my parents that I
what's
want
the group
another
called
printer,
again? We enable you.
what?
Yeah, we are a good influence. We actually make you buy more.
Of course. No, I thought about it already myself. But when I came to I live with my parents in the house of my parents.
Okay.
Oh.
And when I came to my parents and said, I'm thinking maybe to go get another one, they told me, wait, first get around with the first one, then go buy another. But be professional on first one, and then
That's good advice. That's good
yes,
advice. So learn from one and then go off and then make a decision on your next purchase.
And
But-
get the same printer I recommend.
Well, no, I've never have. I do not have
I
one.
will not get one more because it's hard to get them. I don't
have-
see them selling.
I have about, I think it's 18 or 20 printers. They're all different. Every one. Half of them
Why
are
not
from-
everybody Prusa and that's it?
No, I have Creality, I have JG Maker, I have Weedo, I have Tenlog, I have Tronxy. I have. What else do I have out there? Uh, I've lost count of the names. I've Longer. I have you name it. I have a whole. None of them are. I think one or two of them might be from the same manufacturer, but they're different printers. But they're all different printers. Every one of them.
No, I prefer to use the same printers, like all three of them right there are A30 Pros. And now I'm slowly starting to love the A30M. Just because it saves me so much on filament spool. I mean, wow.
What new units do we have coming for new? Do I have? If you're asking about me, I have James. I have a new 4K resin printer on its way. I can't give out the name because it's a Kickstarter and they're actually working on it right now. But it's a 4K resin that comes with a built-in camera.
Nice.
Now, it's going to be a Kickstarter. I don't know the price of it yet. I just know it's going to be a Kickstarter, and I've been told one is going to be coming my way for a review because I want to use my review for the Kickstarter, and they're sending me one. I also have the Maker Pi P3 Pro, which is going to be a Kickstarter as well, I believe. But I'm not involved in the Kickstarter. But I know I've been dealing with the guys at the company, and they are sending me the P3 Pro soon. And that's a dual extruder, but it's going to be like the Ultimakers, where it has got two extruders, but when one's not being used, it lifts up out of the way. So the heads are never side by side. It actually lifts up and only uses the extruder that's been, like if it's extruder one printing, that's down. And when extruder two's turn, it comes down and takes over and prints with the other head. So they actually switch. They're on servos.
It will be interesting to see what their design is about it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be very, very like the way Ultimaker, because Ultimaker machines do that today.
Yeah, the Ultimaker 5.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up, James? What do you have coming up new on your side? Come in and join the conversation. James, the link is up there. Click on the link and come join us. Gets power for the printer. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you take it direct. That's good, but I'm not an IT man. Well, I am IT person, so that stuff is easy
That's
for
the
me.
difference between us.
And that new resin has networking. It's got an app for the phone. You can watch the job and monitor the job when you're away from your home. So you can see the print job going while you're away from your computer.
I don't remember who did it, but
Can you
maybe
manually
they
control
should
it over
go-
the phone too?
Yeah, you can control the print job and pause the job and everything from your cell phone.
Nice. It's like an app for it. Nice.
Oh,
And
Daniel,
maybe
I thought I was getting you mixed up. I'm sorry. Come in,
no,
join
it's
us.
okay.
Yeah, no, I was talking to Alter
Yeah,
Proctor.
Daniel, come in for a few minutes.
Daniel's got so many different names. I'm not sure who's who anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I call him AKA Mickey Mouse.
yeah, because he works for Disney World.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
nice. I
Orlando.
wish I could
I'm
walk
just
there.
joking, Daniel. I'm just joking. I'm sorry. Shouldn't call you Mickey Mouse.
But no, it's so I have those two for sure. I probably have a third from that needing just reviews. They're not Kickstarter machines. They're like new machines coming out. I'll have at least one, maybe two more coming up in the immediate future. I have a laser probably coming up in a few weeks.
Nice.
A new laser coming from one of the manufacturers, and probably a new printer by midsummer as well. And I know I have another resin coming midsummer, which is so I have a few lined up between now and the next over the next 2 months. I have a feeling I'm going to get. I have nothing at the moment. The last one I did was a few weeks ago, and then I have a few weeks of nothing, and all of a sudden I'm going to get 3 or 4 of them in the space of a week or two. So I'll have to work on those over the space of a few weeks, and then it'll go quiet again maybe, and then I'll have another batch of them coming in again. That's how it tends to work for me. I tend to get them in batches rather than getting them well spread out.
Liam, the Kickstarter of the 4K resin, maybe they should talk with the Pooch. I don't remember who came up with it, but the Octalapse for resin printer.
Yeah. Well, if these guys got a built-in, hey Tom, these
What's
guys got,
up?
these guys got a built-in camera. So I've asked them, and I'm waiting on an answer. Can it do a time lapse? And if it can, like every time the UV light comes on, take an image. If it can do that because it's built into the printer, then it can do its own time lapse. You don't need the octalapse because it will do it.
Okay, yeah.
You don't need the time lapse for the Canon printers or Canon cameras because I know Jerry has one of those, right? It's a cable that goes in, and when the UV light comes on, it triggers a photograph, right?
Yes.
This will do it built in if it can do time lapsing. And if not, I will suggest to them, maybe you should do this because that's popular now, so people can do time lapse of their prints.
You do
It
know
will be
that,
the first
that
print
Uncle Jesse
resin
did
printer.
that.
He did with a cable, but this is a printer that's coming soon with a built-in. It's a resin printer with a built-in camera in the printer. It's part of the printer.
Yeah. Well,
You
there's
don't need to
it's a
take
cable,
off
but it
the cover
automatically
for
trips
it.
every time the layer goes up.
Hey, Travis.
Llama
Hey,
is
Chris.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Llamas are taking over the world. So what are you building now, yo? What do you need the bearings for? Didn't you need bearings?
That's who
Me?
you love.
No, yo. Wasn't he looking for bearings earlier on Facebook or Twitter or something?
No, I don't need the bearing.
Don't know. I
Oh.
didn't see that.
What the hell was I thinking of then?
Hey,
I don't
track.
know.
I don't know.
So, but this will be if this printer can do time lapsing built in, so you won't need that for this printer. You won't need that extra cable. So it actually has a built-in camera, so you can watch your print job as it goes. You can monitor your print job as it goes. So
That can be cool. I
that would be
actually
really cool.
bought a different camera to do it.
Yeah, that works good. Yeah, but but you for that one, you can't do time lapse with that, can you?
No.
So what you need to do is you take
The
an image.
Octaprint.
Yeah, the Optiprint is great for that. Yeah. So what you with this one, if it can do built in, you don't need the cable for this one printer. So that's going to be really nice. When
Repeteer does time lapse too.
Sorry.
Repeteer does time lapse. People don't realize Repeteer does a time lapse. You just got to pay for it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't use Repeteer. So
I haven't used it yet. I actually paid for Repeteer like a month ago because I originally thought I was going to use it for the CNC. And then Sergio went out and bought me the little interface thing, so I didn't need to use Repeteer.
Oh, okay.
So I never used it, but I bought it, so I'm using it on the printers now.
Nice.
People don't realize Repeteer runs CNCs too.
Yeah, I know. And like I was going to install. I have an MKS board there. Is it the MKS? No. It's the V3 board from the BTT board. And I was actually going to take the controller board out of my laser cutter, my 40-watt laser, and put this board in there instead, and use this to run my laser. Gives me more control over it because I can do it through Inkscape. I can actually control my laser through Inkscape. So I was thinking about doing that switch out. There's a bit more. I have to buy some buck converters and stuff because I have to tweak some voltages to get stuff and add a few other pieces to make it work. But it should work. So I was thinking about doing that. So what are you printing, Tom?
Nothing right now.
Yeah? I'm just kidding. I haven't
finished
been so
printing the
busy.
legs for Sergio's
Hey,
clock.
Viking, how are you?
Hey, Viking.
I made legs for Sergio's clock because I don't like the box sticking out.
Okay.
Sergio's clock. Can you see it?
That's nice.
Yeah, it's all right.
Is it printed or is it engraved or is it
No, that's off the CNC.
Oh, nice.
It's carved in.
You can see it since.
It's not perfect, but
let me make it full screen so I can see it better. I'm old and blind, so yeah.
It's all right. It's good. It had some tear out, like right along.
Because of the speed of cutting. Because of your
There's some
speed.
tear out here. And
Yeah.
this was already torn out before I even started.
Yeah.
But,
That's because of the speed of travel.
Huh?
If you slow down your speed of travel, you don't get the tear outs.
No. If you buy actual like quality bits, you don't get tear outs.
Yeah, but if you're traveling too fast,
when you buy bits at instead of $20 or $30 a piece, they're $19.95 for 40 bits. You're gonna get tear out.
Well, I've done stuff on cheap bits, and you don't get tear out because I go slow.
They're up cut too. They're not down cut, so it's always going to tear out the plywood. Just like a circular saw blade does. That's why if you ever cut plywood with a circular saw and you want the finished edge, you always put your finished edge down so the blade is cutting up into the plywood, and you don't have to tear out. The tear out will happen always happen on the top of a circular saw. So if you don't want to see it, you put your finished face down. When you cut it, it'll tear out on the back. When you flip it over to the finished face, there's no tear out.
I'd like to see that, Chris. You should share that image, or come on and show it to us.
Yeah, come on, Chris.
Yeah, come on, Chris. Come on, everybody, tell Chris. Come on, Chris.
Come on,
Chris. Yeah.
No pressure, Chris, but come on, Chris. You just told us you have a nice print, so come in and show it to us. But
I'm missing by a day, but may the force be with you.
Oh, today is Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah, today's the Revenge of the 5th.
Lama,
you might actually be in tomorrow already.
Lama, did you see the SpaceX landing and launch?
Yeah, I just caught it. Yeah,
it's
fantastic. It was all right. Their video sucks. You know, for all their high technology, you'd think they'd be able to like do a decent video.
I think they only fit a single radio transmitter, and they don't do multiple transmission points, and that's why it's happening. And the clouds can actually, depending on the frequency they're transmitting on, clouds can actually interfere with radio transmissions. It can, if they're at a high enough frequency, the water droplets can absorb the energy of the radio.
Want to go to Mars. They can get a better video system.
They can, but on a test machine, they don't care, right?
Actually, they do, because a lot of those cameras are in there to analyze
somehow
what's
they need to
on.
save 5 pounds, you know what I mean?
If they had good video, they could see crap when it blows up and figure out why it blew up.
Well,
Day of the Dead, isn't it? Cinco de Mayo.
That's today. Yeah, the Day of the Dead, yeah. But they can actually, they don't care about video that much. They're actually looking at mathematical numbers coming down to them via a dump. And that's what's more important to them than an image of a picture. The picture is for, did it flip over? Yes. And that's very high level.
It landed all perfect.
Is raw data.
Something didn't still come out right, though, because they still were running 2 engines all the way through the landing. They never cut down to 1.
And that's okay.
It worked.
It worked. It looked like engine 3 did not fire up, and they used engine 2 to compensate for longer. And that's okay. And there was a fire underneath. It looked like it might have been a thermal blanket that caught fire. So that's something they need to address. But it's still standing right now on the pad. I'm watching it.
Yeah,
I
know.
No flames, no smoke. It's still going. So
much more fun when it blows up, though.
They'll blow up more. We know they will.
Oh yeah, they will.
They might have better.
It is much more fun. It's so dramatic. I love the last one where it came down. It did land, and then it blew up. Because then they accomplished everything they needed to accomplish, and we all get to see it blow up after.
Yeah, well, the cool thing is now that it landed. Oh, it's not the Day of the Dead. Okay, I thought it was. The cool thing is it landed. It's in one piece. They had some issues, but because it didn't do a rapid unscheduled disassembly, right?
Yeah.
That's what they call it when it blows up. Since it didn't do a RUD, they have an intact craft now to go and investigate to see what went wrong.
Yep.
and they will learn so much from that. So when SN16 comes out in the out, they will have it. They will actually implement changes for SN16.
It's still more fun when it blows up. Sorry, it just is.
It is. A rud is fun to watch, but they have 3 years to get an operational craft to go to the moon, if at all possible. So the less rods they have, the better for them.
Well,
And,
that's true.
and
It
the
is.
faster development they'll get, and the sooner they'll get to a state where they'll say it's safe to go and land on the moon using our spacecraft. So that's their goal right now. And today showed they can actually do it successfully. Now they just need to repeat it without any issues. And they'll get there.
Ba-ding! You need to get that freaking phone away from your mic.
The EM
Oh,
drive is
sorry.
dead because it never worked.
Oh, that's you? I thought it was Liam.
No.
No, it wasn't me.
No. But
Ba-ding!
yeah, the
That's a
EM
wild
drive is
thing.
dead because the physics that they said, well, to be able to move something without actually having some sort of propulsion doesn't work. They do have they do have EM drive. They do have electrode drives that they use on satellites and some smaller spacecraft, so where they accelerate over time. That is still there. That is still used. It's still used heavily. Like all of the SpaceX spacecraft have ion propulsion drives on them, which are electro driven, because it actually ionizes gas a small amount to give small levels of propulsion. They have them
Stop
today.
ruining it with all your techno babble. It's more fun when it blows up.
Yeah. More bang for your
We
buck.
don't care about the technical crap. We
I'm
just want to
sorry,
see
I like the
stuff
techno
blow
babble. Hey,
up.
look, I'm a geek for a reason, right? I like
we
the
don't
science.
care. We just want to see it blow up.
No, I want to see it land. I want to see them get to the moon. I want to see them successful. I want to see them go to Mars and bring people to Mars and back again safely. That's what I want.
And then
And I
blow up.
want to see car flies.
Sorry?
Got to blow
And
up.
I want to
Be
see
cool.
car flies.
You want to see
like
a cow
the
fly?
fifth element, like the fifth element, flying cars.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know,
that would be cool.
he's already
That's not as
talking
far off
about.
as people
Don't talk about cars. He's already planned to add a small jet engine to his new Roadster that they're releasing in next year. So it's going to have a small mini jet engine on the Roadster. It's an electric car, but it will have a jet engine built in.
But what will be the price? I
Why?
don't believe a lot.
I don't know.
It will be like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini.
No,
In the high
Roadster
class.
is a two-seater car, but it's a it's a sports car. But he's already talking about building in a jet engine into them.
All right. So using regular fuel again, huh?
Good night. I don't know what he's going to do actually with it.
Alcohol.
Good night.
Yeah, I'm up at 5
It'll
a.m. in the
likely
morning.
be
So I know
alcohol.
what
It's
I'll be
okay.
on.
It's almost 4 a.m. At night
Alcohol? What a waste of alcohol.
Yeah, but
Well, alcohol
alcohol is a
would burn
renewable
fairly clean.
resource. It's not
Hydrogen
like
would burn
gas.
cleaner. But
renewable.
hydrogen would burn clean.
And hot.
What's up, Shane?
Yeah, but that's okay. We have hydrogen cars already.
Yeah, I know. But hydrogen is kind of oxidizing, isn't it?
It creates water when you burn it.
Yeah, but
Hey, Shane.
doesn't it corrode or something, the metal or something?
No, because the output is water. You just have to coat it so it's rust proof.
It does. It does. You have to have like special stainless and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
It'll break the metal down faster. But
That's what
there's
I'm
no
saying.
reason we aren't using hydrogen cars other than all the gas companies bought up all the freaking technology and they put patents on it, so no one can build them.
Actually, no.
You know, buy a gasoline engine.
See, there's two ways to make hydrogen gas.
Brown.
One is extracted out of water, which is expensive, but it works. The other way of doing it is they can get extracted from gasoline, and it's cheaper to extract it from gasoline, but it's really dirty and environmentally nasty process. But so that's why SpaceX are building their own ways of making gas on premise at Boca Chica because they don't want to use a dirty process. So they're going to do it there from gas, from water. You're right. I won't say that they may not work out, but he is challenging the status quo, and he is making people think outside the box. And even if he doesn't make it work, at some point someone will take up his research and the work they've done and tweak it into something that will work.
Yeah.
So
he's also in the position where he can take on 10 different projects and have 9 of them fail. If one of them makes it, he's still good.
SpaceX.
Don't you know
almost
Elon Musk
billionaire.
is going to run for president in the future?
Well, he can't. He's not. He wasn't born in the States. Like
But I think
SpaceX
Barack
almost failed.
Obama never didn't born in the state as well.
Sorry,
Barack Obama.
Obama was born in the U.S. In the U.S.
Yeah.
A U.S. what do you call
Obama's
him?
a U.S. citizen.
He's a citizen. He was born as a
Okay.
citizen.
A
Yeah.
natural citizen.
Yeah,
He was born in Hawaii, wasn't he?
I think he was. So that makes you a citizen because that's a.
It's the Republicans trying to like make him something he's
Yeah.
not.
But
They're fake news crap.
talking about having stuff fail, SpaceX almost failed until the very first Falcon 1 launched and actually succeeded. That was the last money he had from selling his previous company, right? It was the last, which was PayPal. It was the last money he had, and he put the last of his money into it. If that rocket did not launch and did not successfully launch, he was broke. He had mortgaged his house. He had taken out loans from friends. That was his last money. And because it launched successfully, the last rocket, NASA came in and said, okay, now we want to give you money towards developing your rocket. So he's shown that spaceship can launch. He was learning to land it, but he showed it can launch. Space and NASA came along and said, you look like you're going to get there. We want to help you get there. Here's money for development. And this money includes an unmanned trip and a supply trip to the moon as part of this money. So that's how he got the money this time, right? That has just funded his development to accelerate it. He's no longer using his own money now. He can use NASA's money to get there. So, but now he's been using his own money.
Anyway,
I think this one that he's doing this what's the AI? Not the AI one. The one where he's putting a computer chip into linking it to the brain. That's an interesting one because it may not work for him in the way he wants to do it, but to correct issues later on in the future of people with brain issues, to fix it and put a chip in to replace that part of the brain so that functionality can be carried out elsewhere. It will probably be used for that at some point. That research he's doing right now will probably be used for that. So I can see it in the future. Someone who has mobility issues or who had a stroke or whatever, they can actually put a chip in to actually take over that function in the human brain.
ooh,
That's coming. Neuralink, that's it, Viking, yeah. So that one is actually, he has actually developed it right now that he has a monkey with a chip in his brain and he can actually play computer games using the chip in his brain. He can control it from his head. So
But now you have a question if it's good or bad.
well, here's the good. Here's the good part of it. As I mentioned a moment ago, if someone had a stroke and they couldn't
It
walk,
can help you with the disease.
You can help medically.
heart attacks,
That's
and
what it's all
everything
about.
medically amazing.
Yeah.
I'm with you on
But that's his goal.
100%. But at the same point, somebody can control you.
If it had a linkage to something on the outside, possibly it could be hacked. But if it's a basic
How you know
function,
not all people in the future who commit a crime will get one of those chips because they're mentally ill, and that might be just enough.
there could be a lot of
So-
good in it. But I see the main thing about it is fixing brain injuries and bringing function back by putting something in there to help repair that function.
You can
That alone,
argue
and
mental
that's his
health
goal.
is
That's his primary goal. It's not to play video games with your brain.
it's an
It's
injury.
to help repair, to show that it can be done to help fill in function. And so as he develops it, it would actually be developed like that. Like Google came out with the idea of, and they developed it, but I haven't heard of it in a long. I heard about it in a while. They have a contact lens, and the contact lens will monitor your blood sugar for diabetics.
Even LED screen, they have something like that.
Yeah, but they actually developed a contact lens that will do that for you.
Well, I give
Yeah,
you
but
the
it
best
will be
example,
controversial, and a lot of people will go
controversial
against
about it.
it.
Sure.
Like TNT. What's TNT invented for?
Go on.
Peace. He wanted to make peace,
Yeah.
but then he made war with it.
Well, the same goes for everything. Like,
Wasn't it originally designed for mining TNT?
yes, it was used for mining and stuff, but there's other stuff out there. Like okay, like the atomic bomb was invented to put it into for to put it. It wasn't designed for war, but it was used for war, and it did bring peace
Designed for
after it.
defense.
But it was also used for energy creation, and it creates cheaper energy because of that. A high amount of electricity can be created because of nuclear fusion, right? Or nuclear fission, not fusion, nuclear fission.
Yes, but here we don't have. But basically, electricity doesn't come from there.
I know, but like where you live, there's lots of sun, right? Because where you're in the Middle East, right, area, right? So you have
Yes.
lots of sun over there. Like for you, solar power is a great way to go, right? But
Of course, but the solar panels so expensive here, so it will. You need to buy a house just for the solar panels.
I know, but
Well, you
but
don't
right
have to.
now, solar panels efficiency is about 15 to 20% is all they are really, right? If someone came out with a way of making a solar panel 80% efficient, now one panel could actually power your whole home rather than 20,
Yeah.
you know? So it all comes down to making something better, optimizing and finding better ways of doing it. Because the photoelectric cells today are not very efficient.
They've gotten better, but yeah,
They've gotten better, but they're still not there.
there's a new one that like your window tint. You know how they have the UV tint on your windows now when you buy them. There's a UV tint that can turn your window into a solar panel. It's
Yeah.
not highly efficient. It only gets like 5% power out of
Yeah.
it.
It's a trickle
But-
charge.
It's there. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you can plug your phone in and charge it off a window kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which, you know, this is all when you think about, you know, the technology and advancements. This is the beginning of all that.
The thing is, we have to have a combination of things like solar panel on
should.
the roof, solar panel the windows, anything what we can attach solar panels to, attach solar panels to.
It
you know?
depends where the
And
source
windows.
of light is coming
Relying
from.
on any
I mean, why
one
not build a
resource.
house out of solar panels? You know,
No,
instead of
You
having
can't. It would lose too much heat. But it all depends on the angle of the sun in the sky
no,
and the
no.
direction
And
the
the
sun is
direction.
coming from.
Still build it like a regular house, and then just put solar panels on the outside because solar panel does protect your house.
No, it actually gets hot. Solar
Yeah,
panels get
it's
hot because they're dark in color to attract sun, and because they're dark in color and because their efficiency is so low, they actually radiate so much heat. They actually get really hot, and that's why they're never
Why
on
not-
the roof. They're above the roof because they have to have cold air blowing underneath them to carry away the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
but
will
why
have
not
a
use the
roof
heat
up there
as
too,
generate
but-
also power?
Yes, but because their efficiency is so low, they 80% or so, or even more, of the solar energy that goes onto that hits those panels comes out of it as heat. It just goes back out as heat. So
because there's a company doing the dual
Talking about a
purpose.
desert.
They're doing the hot water solar panel with the solar cell above it. So they're running the water, which cools the solar cell and heats your hot water all in one shot. So, yeah, they're not the most efficient at solar energy, but they're very efficient at hot water heat.
So
if
you're
you're in
heating
a location. Like, they're terrible here because we get snow and crap, and you're not going to heat the water while it's, 10 degrees below zero here.
Yeah, what's up?
I have in my house. I don't have a boiler. I have a gas water heater.
Yeah, we have gas here too, but I'm just saying, if you could heat water in your home with a sheet of metal, some copper piping laid out on that metal, and water running through it. Because what would happen is the sun shining on that piece of metal. I did it as a kid as a project.
Yeah.
Right. So the sun shining on the metal plate that's painted black with copper piping woven around it. Right.
Okay.
And water on water reservoir coming in the bottom and output on top. The water that comes out on top would be boiling hot.
Yeah.
I
used to heat my pool with one.
Just with
Talking about black.
It's like making a radiator.
That's all it is. And you
It's
just
a reverse radiator. Yep.
But instead of it giving off heat, this is painted black to absorb the heat.
Yeah.
And it actually boils the water in the pipe. So the cold comes in the bottom, heats, and comes out hot on top. You could do that in your home and have free hot water heated by the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you use this new black,
because it's daytime only. I used to heat my pool with one. With my pool pump, I had a piece of plywood, painted it black, stapled garden hose to it, painted the garden hose black. Boom, heated my pool. Every time the pump would kick on, it would push the water through the radiator and heat it up.
You wouldn't even have to pump to push on because it would actually naturally siphon from the cold
and
pump out the
they
hot.
say that it really doesn't. It gets pretty hot in that.
Well,
thing,
but if you create enough of a vacuum in there in the piping, you could actually do it. Because I did it as a kid, as a project.
Yeah, no, it will. Because the hot water will automatically rise.
Yeah, but you can actually do that, and it's not that hard to do. I bet you if you tried it at a small scale at home, like it's a box of this size, you could actually heat the water in that, in that, and it would go around the circle and stay hot all day long.
Yep.
or use one of those little black paints. What absorb so much heat? It's like a black hole.
But no, the problem with those, they do absorb so much light. The problem with those paints is they're not weatherproof. But if you got the same thing and you just paint it black and put a pane of glass over the front, that the pane of glass holds in the heat, right?
Yeah.
And then it would get so hot in there. Like, I mean, I did one this size. It was about a foot square, right? 12 inches square. And the output was boiling hot water in 10 minutes. And I lived in Ireland. And it's boiling hot water in 10 minutes coming out on the other end. So in somewhere like where you live, where you have hot weather, you have sunshine almost all the, well, I would say about 70 to 80% of the year round, right? You got good weather.
Actually, it's half and half.
Okay, even then, all you need is sunlight. And sun will come through the clouds, right? Because you're so near the equator, the penetration is going to be higher for UV light. It would actually heat it up, and you would have the worst case on a cloudy day. You'd have warm water, but on a hot day, a sunny day, you'd have boiling water coming out of it.
Yeah.
You should test it as a project. Do a test. It works really well.
Do you have wind power?
What?
Do you have lots of wind up there?
Not
wind
at
is
my
always a good
city.
option to power.
Not at my city.
Yeah, near the desert you get wind at night, but not during the day. Because
it's at the north we get windy.
Yeah.
Near the beach you get windy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're near a desert, what happens is the air currents come off the desert during the night, and you get a strong wind coming off the desert at nighttime. So you get wind at night, but during the day it'll be dead calm, flat, no wind, no air moving.
That's why it's very, very cold there at night.
Yeah, because the wind drops. It really takes the temperature down. Yeah, I was in Hurghada, and you'll be sitting there at night, and the sun goes down. About 20 minutes after the sun goes down, the wind starts picking up, and you're sitting out by the pool, feeling nice and comfortable, and all of a sudden you start feeling a chill, even though it was 110 degrees during the day. You get cold and colder and colder because the wind gets faster and faster. It gets so fast, it would actually blow the the sun loungers along by the pool. It'd blow them around and blow them. Sometimes it blow if it came between the building, it would actually blow it off into the pool. Dominic, what would you do?
Well, I will answer you, Dominic. I don't have 0 degrees outside, never. We don't have snow.
He has never ever. Yeah, no. In Israel, they 0 degrees is a fictional number temperature that they've never ever experienced. It's never.
Anyway.
It's never. What is
I'm
your
gonna go
cold?
take a
Your
shower
cold-
and go to bed probably. So I'm out.
My
See you
coldest
guys.
day I
take care.
remember. Bye, Lama.
Later.
Take care, Lama. So what is it? 11 degrees would be your coldest weather?
No,
Maybe
the
it could be
coldest
20?
I have felt in Israel, I think it was 4, but it was the coldest winter like in many years.
4 degrees.
Yeah.
We'd still be in 4 degrees centigrade. We'd have people here in Michigan going around in shorts and t-shirts because they do it even when it's snowing here. Well, I have a neighbor that when it gets really cold, when it's snowing, he takes his dog out for a walk and he's wearing shorts and t-shirt and there's snow on the ground.
But when we have summer, we get up to 40, 42.
That's really hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like summer. Not because of because of the whole heat.
Yeah, I know. I like the heat. Like when I was in Hurghada, it was so hot.
Ooh.
I loved it. Yeah, 4 is not that bad. Like we've had in centigrade here in Michigan, we've had winters where we get a week or two of -36.
But you forget the important thing. We don't have snow. It's
Yeah,
sad.
no, we get lots of snow and we get -36 sometimes in winter, and that's centigrade.
I never seen actually snow. What we have do here that we call snow, it's in Jerusalem, happens, and it's like a snow rain, but like ice.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like ice hitting you, not snow.
Yeah. Well, here, like when it gets that cold, it's kind of weird. When you go below maybe 5 or 10 degrees below freezing, the moisture in the air freezes, so the air becomes dry and it doesn't feel as cold until you get down into the really negative temperatures. And even then, you may not feel so cold, but within a few minutes outside, you get frostbite when it's that cold.
Ooh.
Yeah, like we have when it's really cold here. I mean, really, really, really cold, like -30 degrees. They close the school sometimes because the kids here all go to school by school bus, and they wait outside waiting for the bus to come. And when it's that cold, you get frostbite in 5 or 10 minutes in that weather.
Oh, he left.
Yeah.
Now I don't like the
Welcome to
cold.
the party.
Yeah, are you leaving?
No. I saw Lama leave, so
Yeah. He bombed out. He said he's going to bed. But I've
yeah.
seen temperatures here like really bitter, and I don't like the winter. I really hate winter. I don't mind it being cold. I'm not a big fan of the cold, but I can deal with the cold. Snow and ice, I despise. I can't. I hate snow and ice. Um, if it was just cold, I'm fine. I can make it work because I can wrap up. When it's snow and ice, you get wet, and that's horrible. And when you're that cold, when it's that cold and you're wet, it's horrible. Yeah. See, I
I
don't
wonder
get.
what Jerry is.
I don't know. He said he was working with somebody on some electronics for his bot.
All right.
So
Okay, guys, I think I will go.
okay.
It's 4 a.m.
Oh, right. Yeah, you need to sleep.
Yeah. You have a good night, sir.
So
Thank you for
I will
joining
go.
us. It was fun.
Thank you, and
You're
we'll
always
see you soon.
you're always welcome. Okay. Anytime I do streaming, you're always welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I've never gotten used to the cold here. I lived in Singapore. Singapore is probably closer to
Tropical.
it is tropical. Like it's only 168 miles north of the equator. Oh, Marcus, one out, one in. How are you?
All right.
Welcome to Thunderdome.
I have some questions for you when you're done there.
Sure. Ask away.
All right. So Ethan and I watched the SN-15 take off and land, and he asked me questions and I didn't know the answers. So I was hoping you would know the answers.
I'll
But
try.
he's like, "Is that the first time they landed it?" He basically wanted to know why that was a big deal.
Okay.
And basically, what's next?
Okay. So, is it a big deal? Yes. The reason why is the last one, SN-12, landed. Was this 12? I can't remember the number now. But the last one landed. It landed hard, so it wasn't upright. It was slightly tilted, but it was okay. But there was a big fire underneath, and the fire actually damaged and caused another secondary explosion. So it landed, stood there for 10 minutes, and then boom, and took off and blew itself up. Right. So they didn't successfully land. They successfully landed, but there was an issue, and it actually destroyed itself. And what SpaceX call that is a RUD, a rapid unscheduled disassembly. Right.
All right.
They don't call it blew up. They said they had a RUD event. So this one did have a bit of a fire, and it looked like it was probably one of the blankets underneath for fireproofing that caught fire, right? So they had to rethink some of that. But it landed upright, and it stayed there, and it's still on the pad right now. I have a screen open up here, and it's still standing there on the pad right now. 100%, it's there, right? So now, whatever issues they had, if they had any issues, and I think they had one or two small stuff, they can now go and look in the spacecraft that's still standing to see what has gone wrong and diagnose it. So when they do the next one, which is SN-16, they can fix it. So when SN-16 goes up, they don't have these issues. But they've actually successfully landed this craft, and it's still standing, which is the first time they've done that. So that's why it's a big deal. Now,
I thought I'd seen videos of them landing it before, so it was.
They landed one before, and then 10 minutes after they killed the stream because it was done, and then after being on the pad 10 minutes, the fire never went out, and it caused a rupture in one of the tanks, and it blew itself up again. So that's deemed as successful landing, but it landed a bit hard, and the last one they did came in and they blew it up because it wasn't coming. They lost telemetry on it, and to be safe, they exploded it in air. So this is the first one that's landed and is still standing, completely standing upright right today.
So the one on the ship, was that one of the ones you were talking about? Because I could have sworn I'd seen it land on a ship.
Oh no, that's different. So spaceship, the SN is for spaceship, right? And this is serial number 15, the one that landed today. The ones you see landing are the other ones are the Falcon 9s. They land those every time they launch, or almost every single time they launch them. And so this is actually going to be way, way bigger. This is designed, this new spacecraft, or this new spaceship is what they're calling it, right? Is so much bigger. This is going to be bigger than a Saturn V rocket.
Okay.
And it's going to be designed to be reusable, completely reusable, 100%, right? So both parts, when they go up, there's going to be two stages. The first stage is spaceship, and then you have the booster underneath it. Okay, when they launch, the booster will come back and land and be reused. The spaceship will actually be able to go to the moon, land, and then take off from the moon and fly back, or go to Mars, land, and take off from Mars and fly back, and land back on Earth, be fully reusable.
Cool.
And it's going to be so much bigger that it's going to be like, as I said, it's going to be bigger than the Saturn V rocket, which is like the diameter of this is 30 meters wide. If you look at the size of a person standing beside this, they're like ants standing beside this thing, right? So if you look at it during the day, if you go to the Lab Padres website and look at it during the day, people are tiny standing beside this thing. and they are actually going to even extend that bigger than what it is right now. They're going to make it taller, is their plan already. So they are probably going to go through about 30 iterations of this, maybe more, before and successfully land version after version after version before they build out the inside of it to carry people.
All right.
But this is a huge undertaking. Like if you think about one thing, you see my Saturn V here behind me, right? The
Yeah.
Saturn V. Let me take it down. Oh, I knocked the cone off it. Okay, I'll fix that later. In the Saturn V, you see all of this rocket? That was all
Yeah.
built to lift a tiny piece that fits in here.
Mm.
This whole rocket was to move this tiny piece that's sitting inside here, or inside here, to the moon. That's it. Right? So that's a lot of energy and rocket to get there. There and SpaceX are going to do it, but bring it all back together and land it all. That's
Cool.
a big game changer in comparison to nobody else can do it. Like they are the only company that today launch and land spacecraft, right, and reuse it. Mostly you reuse the spacecraft. Like the booster is a very expensive part, and they reuse it up to 9 times right now. They're using capsules to pick people into space and bring them back. They're reusing it. Everyone else who does capsules are not reusable yet, but theirs are. Their supply missions to the space station, the capsule used for supply missions to the space station, is reusable and is used over and over and over again. So they're bringing the cost down. That's why all of this is a big deal. So the more you can lift and reuse a spacecraft, it's like the easiest description is imagine the cost of a plane ticket. If you got on a plane, flew from here or wherever you live to New York, and got off the plane, and then they took the plane away and scrapped it, and they had to build you a new one to fly home. Imagine how expensive airfare would be. That's the way rockets are today until SpaceX solved that. Now they've gone from building a small plane, which is the Falcon 9. Now they're building an Airbus A3, the big Airbus that's with a double-decker Airbus. That's what they're building right now, and they're going to make it reusable. So that's why it's a big deal.
All right. Well, thanks for the explanation. Now I can relay that to him. Tried to get him to come on stream to ask it with me, but he was busy eating and chatting with one of his friends.
Of course. But yeah, that's the reason why. And NASA has awarded them the ability to, they've given them money, a couple of $1 billion, they give them $2 billion, I think it is, to get the craft to the point where they can bring people to the moon for them, right? And do 2 missions to the moon as part of that money. The same amount of money on other spacecraft would cost about $20 billion to do the same thing. They can do it for just over $2.5 billion, is what they're doing it for. So huge cost savings because of reusability. They're not using it once and dumping it. So it makes a big difference. Hey Dan, how are you?
Hey Dan.
There's a Chinese spacecraft that's doing a crash back to Earth sometime soon. Yes, they're estimating it to be around the 8th or 10th of the month, of this month. They don't know where. The reason why they don't know where is, and they don't know how much of it's going to survive, but I think most of it's going to survive, is because this crash was designed to actually splash back down into Earth. So it's very big. It's a big booster, and most of it is, it's like when we send resupply missions to the space station, and we expect it to actually burn up our atmosphere when they're done, right? Because they actually do that. They put their junk into a capsule, and the capsule is sent back to Earth, and it comes through our atmosphere, but it's designed that it burns up, so there's nothing left over. Everything's incinerated by our atmosphere, right? This is made out of materials that will survive coming through our atmosphere. Most of it will, so it will not break up. This thing is huge. So, but I wouldn't worry about it. Here's the reason why. 70% of the surface of Earth is water, right? Of that remaining 30% that's land, only about 30% of that is occupied land. Believe it or not, we only use 30% of the land on the planet, right? So, given that numbers, the chance of it landing on your house, your car, is small, really small. It's not impossible, but it's small. And since most of the planet is water, chances are it's going to end up landing in water, splashing down in water.
You think they have insurance?
Sorry?
In case it doesn't. You think they have insurance?
Oh no.
In case it does land on some...
Oh, of course not.
You think insurance will pay for it if it lands on your house?
You can actually when SpaceX and all these guys launch, they have insurance that covers that kind of stuff. If there's damage to your buildings or whatever, because
I hate my printer to be crashed, you know.
But I'm just saying but it's a very slim chance of it hitting anything, and even if so I wouldn't worry about it. Like the nearest one, there was a piece of Skylab that crash landed in Australia, in some farmer's field in Australia. And because it landed, the US asked for it back. And there was years of negotiation about getting it back, but they eventually did. But there was payment involved. I think it did damage a car or a shed or something on this farmer in Australia. But like the chances of that happening are infinitesimally small, you know.
It's like winning the lottery.
But in saying that, and no offense to anyone who's from China, right now, they launch rockets from China, and they drop parts out of it because as part of the different stages of launching, and it's landed on people's homes in nearby villages, and they haven't apologized for anything, and it's in their own country. So I wouldn't bet on any recompense from them if it does land in your car or your home, because they don't do it for their own people. So why would they for anybody else?
I think China have enough vested outside of the country, so you can actually make a claim on one of China's properties.
No, you can't. No, you cannot. No? Because it's a state, and most of those are owned by private entities. So no, you can't.
Yeah, Gary's saying Murphy's Law. So odds are, if it does land on anyone, it's going to be basically going to be their wedding day or something, right? It's the worst possible scenario.
I wanted to land in the back of where I live. There's a common area, a big open common area. I wanted to land there because I do outreach for NASA. I'll claim it for NASA, and I'll call NASA to come and take it to get it, and I'll get photographs from it, and the news media will love it. And I'll be out there representing NASA, saying that, talking about the spacecraft. So I have a big
big dreams.
Well, I do talk for NASA all the time, anyway. So
yeah, I know. I'm talking about landing the space shuttle behind your house.
Well, this spacecraft, I don't think it will land here. Don't
you think it will destroy your house? I mean,
no. It would put a crater in the. There's no fuel on board, right? And if there was, the fuel would burn off in the atmosphere anyway. So it'd basically be like a chunk of steel landing out there, and chances are it'll just make a crater. So you must remember one thing: most things that come in from space, like big rocks and so on that come in from space, they slow down when they hit our atmosphere. At first, they're coming in really fast, and you could get a big trail as they melt some of the material off it, right? As it burns it up, as it vaporizes. That's called sublimation, right? But when it gets past that point and gets into our lower atmosphere acts like a brake because it's so dense and it slows it down. That's why craft coming in from space, you have the plasma coming around the spacecraft as it comes in, and then eventually that stops. It stops because the atmosphere gets so dense that it slows down the spacecraft coming in. And after that, they deploy the chutes, because you can't deploy the chutes while they're in plasma, because plasma would burn away the chutes, right? So they've come through that first and slow down, and they reach the point that they're going so slow that friction is not being created, so there's no more plasma around them. That's when the chutes are opened. So our atmosphere acts like a brake. My
Okay.
PayPal, I'm sorry, let me get, I can give you my PayPal if you want my PayPal. Where is it? Let me grab it here.
I can give you my PayPal too if you want.
So here is my PayPal link. If anyone wants to help support the channel, please.
Yeah, please
PayPal link
help
there.
out.
It's there if anyone wants to support the channel. Or you can do buy me a coffee as well. You have that option. As you can just a couple of bucks, like buy me a coffee. You can do that as well there, if you wish to. It's always appreciated. Every little thing helps, you know.
Yeah.
Helps keep StreamYard going. But where am I? No, I don't want that. I want that off. So it'll be slowed down by our atmosphere as it comes in. It'll be going fast. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be going breakneck, like so fast that, like, yes, it would probably make a mess of a house. It would crush a house. It would crush a car because of its physical weight. But the amount of mass that's there, and it'll probably do a good, real deep divot, but it wouldn't bury itself completely. It's never going to be moving that fast. Our atmosphere will slow it down too much. Hey,
Do you
Ron,
think
how are
that-
you?
So do you think that
Hey, Ron.
SN15 rocket hit terminal velocity coming back?
The SN15, well, no. You mean the one that was launched today? No. The reason
Yeah.
why is when it goes up, they do a. Actually, I can show you. I have a model. Let me put it over here. So this is what it's going to look something like this when it's done. But these all move, right? These move. So it's going to. What they do is they launch it right now, and then they flip it into a flat lay like this, right? And so this whole surface is now air resistance to slow it down. And then these guides here and in the back, they actually steer, they actually move. They're like hydrofoils. They move and they can actually steer the craft as it comes down through the air because it's moving so fast. There is air resistance acts like a steer, like a wind on a sail, right? So it actually slows it down. The surface does, and this gives them steerability. These flaps, front and back, gives us steerability. So they can actually guide it over to where they want. And it's just before it hits the ground, it does the belly flop. So it's coming in at an angle. It's coming in like this. Okay? And what they do is they do flip, fire the engines to slow it down, and then they ride it up and bring it in. That's how they do it. So it's a weird. So even when people are on board and they're in here, they'll get flipped over upside down a bit, or like backwards about 45 degrees. Because you must remember, if they're coming in at 45 degrees to stop that motion, you have to flip 45 degrees and fire engines to stop that motion in that direction to get yourself stationary, and then you correct to come down. So that's what they're doing. That's how and they've had problems with it in the past, but they were successful today.
Cool.
That'll be pretty exciting for anyone on board, for sure.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting trip. I'm sure they'll have. They may have. For astronauts, they go through training for this, right? My guess is for passengers going to Mars, which they plan to do, is what they will do is they may put the seat on gyroscopes of some form, so when it flips, the seats stay in one orientation, so they're always upright. The craft will move, but they won't. They might do something like that. But this is the second part that they will be doing, which is bigger than this, and this will be returned as well. So in what you saw there, this is 30 meters wide, 90 feet wide.
Do you think they would consider separating the people in a capsule and a parachute so that they don't come down without the fuel?
But the size of this, the mass will be a problem. slowing down that amount of mass is going to get harder. And they have proven that the technology to return a craft intact to the surface. So why would you not use that ability? And it would be a nicer ride than splashing down in the ocean and have to be rescued. Whereas you can bring it to one spot, and it makes your reusability easier because it never touches water.
Yeah, but it separates you from the fuel. That's what I was thinking. But yeah,
Well,
I guess once it gets safe enough.
Yeah, well, because like how many times they've done this now, and they've done it with crew cabin, with crew as well, over and over. Like the crew is splashing down right now, but NASA wants that to go away. They want to be able to land on land, and this is their answer to that. So they want to land. Their whole goal is land it, quickly refurbish it, if any refurbish at all. They want to minimize refurbishing, if any, and if they can just refuel it and launch it again, they will. So their booster is designed. This booster part is designed to come in, land, be refueled, and used to launch another part. So what they're talking about doing is this piece. There's going to be two versions of this. There's going to be this one that carries people and crew, people and goods, and there's going to be one that's going to be a flying fuel tank. This will launch the people into orbit. They will orbit around Earth. This will come back, land. The fuel tank will be added to this. The fuel tank will then be launched, and in space, they'll have the fuel tank and the other one, and they will actually butt up together, end to end, mate. So the both ends of them will mate. The fuel tank will transfer fuel to the other one for its trip to the moon or its trip to Mars. They're already working on that design because NASA has done refueling in orbit. So they're working with NASA to design a refueling in orbit so they can actually launch it, get it up there, refuel it while it's up there, so then it can use that fuel to get to the moon and back. That's their goal. That's what they're aiming for right now. And he'll probably do it. If not, he'll find other ways to do it, but he'll make it happen. That's the way he works, you know.
Yeah, so one day, if you tell your kids you love them to the moon and back, it's not going to be that big a deal.
No, it'll have to be to Mars and back then.
Yeah.
It'll have to be I love you for at least 8 months out and 8 months back. Like if I got the opportunity to go to the moon, I'd take it.
I'd rather go to Mars.
No, Mars would be nice, but Mars is an 8-month trip out. Then you have
why not? Long holiday.
Well, it wouldn't because you'd be working all the way out there. You can't be just a passenger. You have to work going out and work all the way back.
That's like 10%, 20% of the time. I mean,
thank you, Mylan. Thank you so much. I don't have Jerry's audio set up for super chats and stuff because I don't have super chats, but thank you. It's really appreciated. Pluto and back. Why do you want to go to Pluto? There's nothing out there.
It's called after a dog, after a Disney dog.
That's all. Yeah,
I know that's a miss.
It's actually named after the god Pluto.
Yeah.
All of the planets are named after Roman or Greek gods. There was one exception, but they fixed it. Uranus, I think it was Uranus, was going to be called George. I kid you not. Here's why. The guy that found Uranus, that discovered it, I think it was Uranus. I'll have to double check. It's either Uranus or Saturn, but I think it was Uranus. The guy that discovered it wanted to name it after King George because King George was his patron who's supporting his research. And the international community came in and says, "Oh no! You cannot have a name that's different from everything else." So, what they did was, they made a compensation saying you cannot name the planet after that, but you can give some of the moons different names other than George. So some of the moons, I think it's Uranus. I have to double check. Some some of the moons are named after Shakespearean characters. So that is the only exception. Normally, the planet is named after the main gods, and the moons are like minor gods or demigods, you know. But that was one exception, and I think it's Uranus, if I remember correctly, has moons named after Shakespearean characters rather than demigods. But the planet is named after Uranus, after the god. It would have been called George if they didn't if they didn't win. So you'd have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, George, Neptune, Pluto. Sounds wrong. Actually, where am I? Did I miss something? What's the profit strategy in all of this? The profit strategy on all of this,
Survival of the species.
that's what Elon Musk's goal is. He wants to make humans multiplanetary in case there is a disaster event that wipes out the human race on Earth, that there is some humans surviving elsewhere. That's the whole purpose behind it. There's a mass relay frozen on. I don't understand what you mean by mass relay. Can you explain? There's nothing on Mars either. There is. Mars tells us a lot about what our planet will be like in the future. And I say that because our star is about 5 billion years old. And it's got about 5 or 6 billion years left in the star's life. But as stars get older and they consume more of their core material, they actually start burning hotter. And as it gives out, no, I do not play games, so I don't get the reference. You're correct. George went to the moon, right? You mean Curious George? Yes, I remember that story. I've read it to my kids. But as the sun loses and burns more of its core in fusion, right? In fusion, hydrogen into helium and so on, into heavier elements, its mass slowly decreases, and as the mass drops a little bit, it actually starts burning hotter because there's more space in the core to burn a little bit more. So in about 1 billion years' time, maybe less, our sun will be giving off so much energy that the surface of Earth will not be able to sustain liquid water. So we have about 1 billion years at most, maybe way less than that, for humans to survive on the surface of our planet before our water is boiled off on the surface, because the sun gets hotter and hotter as it gets older. And eventually it'll reach a point where it gets so that it'll go through a phase where it'll stop burning hydrogen to helium. And I won't go into all the details, but what will happen is it goes through different phases. One of the phases it will become a red giant. So the energy in the inside of the core, when it starts fusing helium to iron, which is the heaviest element our star can do, the energy going outwards on our star will be greater than the gravity holding it in. That's why our star has its shape. And hydrogen to helium energy coming out created by the sun, gravity is holding it together. When the energy inside it gets larger, gives off more energy, it pushes out harder. Yes, nerd alert, I agree. So I'm explaining the science. The star will swell up, become a red giant. At that point, Mercury is gone, Venus is gone, Earth is more than likely gone. Mars will probably survive, right? We don't believe it'll reach Mars. I think Earth will be around the very edge of where it'll be. So having our species multiplanetary means we can survive longer if we have people on another planet in our solar system. Another reason why they go multiplanetary. Not only a rock hitting the planet wiping us out, but eventually our star will die out. Or will go through its dying phases, and we will not be able to survive on our planet. So moving somewhere else, since we don't have the technology to go interplanetary, like our inter-solar system, through interstellar space to other areas, traveling within our solar system to somewhere where we believe is inside this is on the very edge of what we call a Goldilocks zone, where we can survive to some extent, and and we could possibly live there if we wanted to, but we cannot be able to. We would not be able to live beyond that because it's all icy out there, too cold, and when our Earth gets destroyed eventually by our sun, it's possible that we could actually survive on Mars.
So you say we have about 1 billion years to buy our tickets.
At most, yeah. So start buying them now. Well, there are some scientists say it could actually be as little as 1 or 2 million years.
I sent you a friend request. I think I found you now.
Okay, that's soon. So why would humans be able to survive on Mars but not on Earth? Well, I just explained why we won't be able to survive on Earth after we go through the red giant phase. Anyway,
Because it's far further away.
well, we can actually make oxygen. We can get water from the ice there. We can do stuff and use a lot more renewable energies out there where we can actually survive on Mars. That is the goal. Even NASA wants to do that, right? But by going there now, we can learn about what our planet will probably could be like in the future, because we will eventually our atmosphere will be blown away. Even if we do survive the red giant phase, our atmosphere will be burnt away and be blown away by the solar wind because the sun would have expanded so much.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're going to be in a
watermelon.
big barbecue.
Yeah, it would be a little bit toasty. Yeah, you need factor 50,000 probably to step outside for a couple of seconds.
How you like your stuff done? Extra crispy, please?
Yeah, I think if we last as a species by then, I think we would be the left system. Maybe, but innovation drives that.
Maybe on the outer planets we will be, maybe.
Well, no, we can't survive the outer planet. They're all ice.
Well,
we
there's
could-
resources.
We could take care on.
Take care.
Ta for now, Burned. Yeah. So maybe you're not leaving. Maybe I misunderstood. But we could potentially survive. Mars is a rocky planet, and it's the last rocky planet we can use to live on. Anything beyond that are ice giants. They're gas giants. They're ice giants. They're very inhospitable. There's no way we can survive there because of the density and the type of
Could we
environment.
not send our robots there and then collect the stuff and bring it back?
That's what the rovers are doing.
Uh,
But you must remember one thing: the rover, the amount of work a rover can do, a human can do it do the same amount of work in 1 or 2 weeks that the rovers have done in the last 20 years. You send a geologist out to Mars, he'll tell you more about Mars in the space of 2 weeks than the rovers have told in 20 years. You send someone out there to find water. And with now that they've proven that a helicopter can fly on Mars, you put drones out on Mars to fly around, and you find water sources, or you drill on the surface, which the rover can't drill that deep. You drill deep in the surface, and you find water. Now you have sustainability on the planet because you can actually get water there, right? So having people go out there will make it jump leaps and bounds to what we've learned to date, because we can go deeper, we can go do faster, we can do research on the spot and not rely on a small spectrograph. We can actually look at stuff and get hands-on and learn more faster than we can with a machine. Because we can do it, that's why we're talking about doing, like from Bennu, we're bringing back samples. We're doing a sample return from Bennu to learn about what its makeup, right? That's on its way back right now. But if we can and they're talking about doing stuff from Mars, but they're only going this deep. If you can go 10 feet deep or 20 feet deep and you find water, now you know it's sustainable. So you bring out a core driller and you drill on Mars. Spaceship.
I think Amazon will be not sustainable. I don't think they will have overnight delivery.
No, you probably will not have overnight delivery there. That's probably going to. Yeah, your Prime membership is really going to suck.
Yeah, and I pay for Prime membership.
So, can you imagine like however long it takes for us to eventually leave our solar system? And they start, and there's a history book, right?
That's correct.
That maybe the first page they'll be staring at a photo of the Earth. And I wonder if that's where it'll start. Like if they'll even mention like George Washington or Great Britain or anything.
They may not mention George Washington, but they will. They'll probably a geography book will talk about where we came from. A history book will tell about where we came from, and talk about. It may not talk about the individuals like that, but it will talk about the countries and the politics and then move on from there about what kickstarted the drive to leave the planet, maybe. Okay, does this similar planet for materials? That's mining, and as long as you can, that's possible today. Now, take apart a whole planet, we do not have the ability to do that, and maybe sometime in the future we could have. But why would you destroy a planet if it's feasible to use it, rather than
why not take a giant planet or a giant comet, and then bore it out, make living quarters inside, and then shoot it through space to another location?
The amount of energy to move something to break it out of its orbit would be astronomical. To get the amount of energy needed to break it out of its solar system is for about 50,000 times that, and the ability to actually control it would be an obscene amounts of energy. We just don't have the ability to have that energy, to create that energy.
Yeah, we need Star Trek.
You must remember one thing, right? Even the rocket, right? The reason why the Saturn V had 3 stages, you need fuel to lift a little capsule, and then you need fuel to lift that fuel to lift the capsule, and then you need fuel to lift that fuel to lift that fuel to lift the capsule, and then the other fuel needs to also be able to get you out of Earth's atmosphere. So there's a point where it becomes prohibitive because it exponentially grows. Like on the rocket I showed you, something this size was being lifted by that huge rocket, right? So, like something the size of a roomy phone booth, right? Like or a small bathroom, a tiny little bathroom. They had to use a rocket that big to get them to the moon. So, the amount of energy needed to get from A to B grows exponentially.
The rocket's qualities went better this time.
No, it's not about quality. It's not about quality. It's about the calculations for fuel, and we know exactly what those calculations are. We can tell for every ounce of like if you're flying a rocket, right? Let's say you want to go to orbit, and I say, okay, I want to include this bottle of water. I like this bottle of water. I need to add the fuel to lift this bottle of water into space. You can't just take it with you. Or I want to include my cell phone. I need to add the fuel to calculate the amount of fuel energy needed to lift this cell phone into orbit, or to break orbit, or to go to the moon. And
that's why one of the astronauts got in trouble, who he hid some pennies in his pockets.
I haven't heard that, but it does change it changes your delta V.
Because I think it was one of the
maybe
he came back on Earth, and then he almost drowned in the water because he had pennies in his pockets.
Well, it could
be. They lost the capsule, I think, too. So instead of saving the capsule, that saved him, but they lost a lot of info and data losing the capsule. I think somebody can help me out there.
There could have been. I can't remember that, but you need to account for every gram of weight, because if you add 5 grams here or whatever, you do not know the amount you have now. You may not have enough energy to get there and back. Even to go to orbit, like when you're coming from orbit, most of it you do a bit of controlling and then you fall back, right? But there is some controlling involved. You have to slow yourself down because you're traveling at 17,500 miles per hour. You have to slow yourself down to re-enter, because if you don't, you're still in orbit, right? So, and they have to fire engines, the retro engines, to slow themselves down. So now their orbit goes from the height it is, they're going slower, and they actually start coming in, and then they meet atmosphere, which slows them down more, which is what the re-entry is. If you don't have enough fuel, if you don't calculate for every ounce or every gram of weight, you may not have enough fuel to reach orbit, and you may end up falling back. Or you may not have enough room. You may have enough fuel to get you to the moon, but you may not have enough to get you back because you don't have. You miscalculated something. Like there's a movie. Yeah, there is a movie out there called miniseries called Stowaway, a movie. That's an example. They've had an extra person on board, and they had to fire the engines extra. I don't want to give too much details, but they found out they had issues of oxygen being used. They had issues with fuel. They had all these other problems, all because there was one person on board. Now, one person is a lot of mass.
So let me ask you something, Liam. What do you think about Bob Lazar and Element 15? Because if we can use gravity drives, you know, a lot of that moving mass and acceleration becomes less relevant. If we can alter gravity.
But we can't.
Nah.
Well, gravity is based on mass.
Because if you can alter gravity, we have hoverboards.
Well, no. Gravity is based on mass. So the amount of mass generates it dictates how much of gravity you have. So to be able to alter the gravitational effect of something, you have to physically change its mass, right?
So you can't somehow warp like time space because
Well, that's what
I know there's some connection between
there
the
is
two.
talks of well, that's to do with travel and speed, right? Because the faster you try and get towards the speed of light, the more and more energy you need to reach that speed, and eventually goes to the point that you need more energy to get there than is available, right? Like to reach even close to the speed of light, you need the energy of a star to get even close to it, to reach about 70% of the speed of light, or 80% of the speed of light. The whole energy of a whole star to get you there, right? And we can't harness that. There's no way we can harness that today. We have no knowledge of that.
It's all about to use solar sails
Solar sails
and
are
a laser.
now solar sails has been experimented on right now, and what solar sails do is they use photonic pressure. So you might not think it, but the light that you see coming from the sun creates a type of pressure called photonic pressure, right? And what solar sails do is, if you had a large enough area of solar sail, it depends on the size of your mass to reach the speed you need, right? Depending on how much mass you're moving, the amount of light hitting that will slowly accelerate it over time to reaching a quarter. Like they're talking about right now, that could potentially something the size of the water bottle or the Gatorade bottle could potentially reach 1/10 the speed of light, but and head towards the nearest galaxy to us, or excuse me, the nearest solar system to us, which is Proxima Centauri, right? That star, right? The Proxima Centauri system. But they could do it, and it'll take 40 years to get there if they can do it, right? Because it's 4 light years away. And if that was, and then they're experimenting on using lasers to create the photonic energy to push it. But
would it be possible actually to put, let's say this is my spaceship, and then I deploy in front the sail,
yes,
and then the laser will shoot out into the sail.
No.
Would it propel itself?
No, because you must remember every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you're pushing, it's also pushing you, so you become stationary.
Nah, that's not fun.
If you're in space and you had you had a
I
basketball,
like the old cartoons where you had a sailing boat and a windmill, blowing yourself forward.
That's different because in the cartoons you're bringing in something, you're adding something, which is air, right?
Yeah, I know.
So that can actually move you a little faster, right? But in space, there's nothing to push against. So even if you were in space and you had a basketball, right, or a tennis ball or whatever in your hand, and you threw it, the amount of energy you put into throwing it forward would not only make the basketball or the tennis ball go that way, but you'd go the opposite direction. Now, if you could do it without moving backwards, if there was a way, like if you were moving forward and you threw it, and the exact amount that if you were moving forward, the exact amount you kick back by throwing the ball, it would bring you to a standstill, right? But what would happen is if you threw it just right, the ball would go around the pen and hit you in the back of the head, right? Potentially, right? But the fact that you're stationary would not do you any good, because if you're stationary and you've counteracted your forward motion, you're no longer in orbit, and gravity now is taken over and is going to pull you down into the planet.
Maybe have a combination of both, like electric drive, or what you call them, ionic drives.
Ion drives.
Ion drives.
Yeah, it's ionizing a gas, an inert gas,
Yeah.
like xenon.
So you have the laser and then the ionic gas behind it, and then both pushing it forward.
Yeah, that's how you counteract this. Maybe if you could get enough force, you could do
Yeah.
that. But even then, even if that's pushing you, and you throw the basketball, you're now pushing opposite to your on your droid. That's pushing forward.
No,
So you're
what
actually
I'm
slowing
saying
yourself
is
down
the
anyway.
laser will be behind it,
You're still pushing against
stationary in space and
No.
pushing the.
you're still pushing against. If you're pushing, if you're forcing something to go one direction, you're pushing against the photons. So you're actually counteracting some of their energy.
So how's it
If
gonna
if the
make the
laser is
laser?
stationary, if the laser is stationary, right, and firing at you in pulses, like multiple lasers around the planet, then what would happen was they would push you in they would hit you in pulses. They would force you forward, and there is no counter energy because the counter energy is absorbed by the planet.
It would be better
It's
to do it on the
but
moon
uh,
because no atmosphere.
potentially, maybe.
No atmosphere.
Here's the problem with it's not that there's no atmosphere. The moon's orbit is not around the equator. It's at a 23.5 degree. It's at a tilt, right? I know it's 27 degrees. So the way the moon goes around is very elliptical, up and
Yeah.
down. So at some points the Earth will get in the way. So you can't do it on the moon because the planet would actually block the laser beam. Unless you just do it in pulses at certain times of the day, you did pulses, then you could potentially do that. But there would be days when the moon, like during a new moon, when the moon is between and the Earth is between the sun and the moon. In those situations, and when you're actually low enough in the ellipse, the orbital angle that you're actually the Earth is blocking you. Now you can't fire a laser anymore because the planet Earth's in the way.
So isn't the moon getting closer to the Earth too as it loses?
No, moving away.
spin?
It's moving away.
2-3 inches a day. I mean, a
No,
year.
about 3 inches a year. Oh no, 1.5 inches a year, 3 centimeters a year.
Yeah.
So does that red giant happen first, or do we lose the moon first? Like, what's the shortest?
They will.
thing?
They'll both happen. Or the red giant will happen before that.
Oh, so that's our number one priority.
Well, yeah, that's going to happen first, and the reason why is that before the moon moves far enough away that well, there's discussion about whether the moon will actually leave Earth. I don't think it will.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll reach a point where the energy the gravitational effects of Earth will not help it to move further away, because our tidal effects is what's causing the moon to move away, right? It's giving energy to the moon, accelerating the moon, so it's moving away further and further. It's our tidal effects that's doing it. It's our tides cause most of that. But there will be a point where we won't be able to affect it as much. So there's talks of either keep going and drift off, or it will actually stay in a stationary orbit that distance away from Earth. Now, but eventually, what will happen is, since we're no longer pushing it away, Earth's gravity is going to start pulling on it a little bit. And if it does go to a point and stops, which I think it will, and other people do think it will, other people say no, it'll go and move away. What will happen is Earth's gravity will take over in about 4 or 5 billion years. If it reaches that point, Earth's gravity will take over and actually start pulling on it again and pull it back in towards us slowly. And then it will, if that does happen, it will reach what's called a Lagrange point. And when it gets to the Lagrange point, Earth's gravitational effects will be so great, we'll actually tear the moon. Our gravity will rip the moon apart, and we'll end up with a ring system of moon debris around our planet.
That would be cool. Okay.
But now the moon is very important to us because it stabilizes our orbit. It stays stable. Our orbit is pretty stable. If not for the moon, we'd wobble all over the place. Our planet would wobble an awful lot more than it does. We wobble a little bit right now, right? It's called precession. So we wobble a little bit, but without the moon, like if you ever look at the North Star, it's not 100%, right? And we drift in and out away from the North Star. Like the North Star is our North Star right now, but the star Vega used to be our North Star about 250,000 years ago. So we actually swing over and back, and that's called precession. But without the moon, we'd actually wobble a lot more, and maybe it may not be habitable on the planet anymore after that, if that happens. So if our sun doesn't get us and the moon does leave us, we'll get to a point where our orbit would be, our rotation would be very unstable, and it'd be uninhabitable on the surface because we move around so much that our weather patterns be messed up and everything will get upset.
Okay, Liam, I'm gonna say goodbye.
All right. Have a good night.
I'm tired now, so it's late up here. I think it's like almost 3 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah. Well, then go to sleep.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I
We'll be
wish
back
you
in
all
a
good
few minutes.
night.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Take care.
So, bye. But now saying that, it'll be about 5 billion years when this happens, right? We know, we have a good estimate about when this will happen. And yes, we will not be around to know about it, but um, the chances are that now we must also remember, if the moon comes closer to us, right, our days get shorter because the moon was closer to us, and as it moves away, because it's been accelerated by our tidal forces on the planet, right? As it moves away, it's actually stealing energy from Earth's rotation, and it's slowing us down a little bit. So the further it goes, the slower our days. So our days will get longer, a little bit. Okay. In the past, our days were shorter. Now, if it gets far enough away, our days will get long. Even if it stays in orbit, our days will be longer. So it won't be 24 hours a day like we have today. Like, or it's actually 23 point something, right? But it won't be that. It will actually be longer than that again. Maybe we might add an hour over the space of 5 billion years. But as it comes closer, the energy of it losing its orbit and coming closer to Earth will actually give the energy will be given to Earth because it'll orbit Earth faster, and it will transfer the energy to the planet and make Earth spin faster, so our days will get shorter and shorter and shorter the closer the moon gets to us. Because like that's how spacecraft. Have you heard of the slingshot effect or gravity assist that we do with spacecraft?
Yeah.
What happens is
I've heard.
the way it works is we steal energy from the planet, right? So the planet's rotating, and we come in. They're rotating. The planet is rotating. Let's do this again. So the planet's rotating this way, right? All right, clockwise.
Right.
And we want to speed ourselves up to slingshot deeper into space, and we do it all the time with spacecraft. So what we do is we come in and we orbit the planet and come in very close to the planet and in the direction it's rotating. And by doing so, the rotation of the planet accelerates us and slingshots us into space. So it gives us more speed, but we steal an infinitesimal amount of energy from the planet. So we slow it down by a tiny fraction. Almost immeasurable, right? Mathematically wise, we can calculate exactly how much, but in reality, we don't really notice the difference unless we went around it 50,000 times. Then you'd be able to measure it, maybe, right? Now, if you want, but now we have a spacecraft going around. It's a gravity well, but the direction we use the gravity well changes or whether it slows us down or speeds us up. So if we go with the rotation of the planet, it speeds us up, right? But if we come in the other way, and then we have a craft going around, the Parker Solar Probe is actually doing orbits of the sun, and it's actually using the Venus to slow it down. And what's that doing is, let's say Venus is rotating this way again. We come in this way to Venus, and what we're doing is we come in by going in this way. We're going against the rotation, right? We're using the gravity assist, but we're actually going against the rotation. So what's actually happening is our spacecraft is giving energy, momentum back to Venus, making it spin a tiny fraction faster. Again, infinitesimal amounts, right? But it's slowing down the spacecraft. So because it slows down the spacecraft, as the spacecraft started out, it was doing really big loops. But every time it encounters Venus, it slows down. So it gets closer. In its incoming loop, it gets closer to the sun with its passes. So because it's slowing down, so we're actually decelerating the spacecraft to get closer and closer to the sun, to get more and more readings as we get closer to the star. So gravity assist helps you if you go with the rotation of the planet to slingshot you, but it actually slows you down if you go against the rotation. But it is using gravity well, but it all depends on the rotation of the planet and how you approach that rotation. Like a planet spinning on its side, it would actually skewer your rotation, and it'd be very hard to use, right? So we can't use it for Neptune, right? But There's other but that's why all of our spacecraft that go deep space, we use gravity sits to get there. Hey,
Very
Mylan.
cool.
Hey guys.
Yeah, I didn't go into the math about it, but it is. You thought it was to do with the gravity well. It is, but the rotation is really used. The gravity well makes us fall into the planet, but the rotation dictates how much energy we can give to or take away from the planet to use coming out the other side. So we either give it energy to slow down, or we take energy from the planet to speed ourselves up. For just a million seconds in 7 days, a billion seconds in. Okay, yeah, I wasn't using. I was just throwing out numbers to give you an example. We weren't talking math. I was talking about the effects. I did not talk about the math whatsoever. We can talk about the math, but who wants to talk about calculus, right? That's not a late night conversation. But there is, well, if you're into the science, if you like the science and stuff, it makes it interesting because I don't just stick with 3D printing. I talk other stuff too, and the science I understand. I understand how orbits work. I understand how to calculate delta V to get into a spacecraft into space. Like you obviously why we launch from so far south and never up in the northern states. So here's an easy one. Ethan would like this, right? So
I gotta get Ethan on one of these streams. He would totally be nerding out on all this stuff.
Yeah. So what happens is when the Earth at the equator is moving at about 1,000 miles per hour, roughly, right? And we rotate.
Right at the equator, right?
At the equator, and we rotate from west to east, which makes the sun rise in the east and set in the west because we're rotating the opposite, right? So, and we use the Earth's velocity to give us a kick boost into space. So, if the Earth was not rotating at all and we launched,
I see.
We have to accelerate a complete 17,500 miles per hour up into space. But if we launch and the planet's rotating at almost roughly 1,000 miles per hour from west to east, when we launch, we already have 1,000 miles per hour assist. So we just use that to get us up there, and then we make up the difference, right? Now, the reason why we don't launch from east to west is if we do, we now not only have to go 17,500 miles an hour, but we have to counteract 1,000 miles an hour going the other way. So if the planet's rotating this way and we try to launch this way, we have to accelerate past the 1,000 miles per hour that the Earth has already given us and counteract it and make it null, and then add 17,500 miles per hour to get into orbit. That's why it's harder to get into orbit the other way around. And while we're in orbit, we constantly have to keep our engines on. The reason why is we're going the opposite way around the planet, so the planet's stealing our energy. But when we always launch from west to east, so the other planet is actually helping us to stay up there a little bit because we're not going against its rotation. So we're doing a gravity assist to increase, not a gravity assist to slow us down. Because the other way, we'd always have to be firing our engines. Even the space station does fire its engines, but that's because where it is, it's up very, very high, 350 miles up, right? But where it is, there is still a little bit of atmosphere, very, very thin, but it's there. And that causes resistance that slows the space station down. So every now and again, they do what's called a boost back, and they actually speed up the ISS. They actually fire rockets, they speed it up, bring it back up to orbit, and then it comes down over time, and then speed it up again. So they do boost backs every now and again. Actually, you should Google YouTube about ISS boost back. There is videos that they have set up in there, and you see the guys when there's a boost back happening, they crunch up and they float there, and when the boost back comes on, you see them drifting away from the camera because the spacecraft is moving forward, so they're actually moving back towards the back of the spacecraft. It's kind of cool to watch.
So what's up, Mylan? You got anything going on?
I'm actually printing the xenomorph from the movie Aliens.
Well, cool.
I'm printing that one. I found that one on Thingiverse, but it's large. It's gonna, when all put together, it'll be about 3.5 feet long.
Is it just the head?
No, it's the whole body.
Okay.
I mean, it's the whole complete alien. So, but it's gonna have it mounted up high on the wall to where it looks like it's kind of coming down at an angle. and then I just use the hot glue gun, squirt the hot glue in his mouth, and it runs through his teeth, make it look like he's drooling.
That's
Oh,
a good
cool.
idea.
That's a good
But
idea.
it was printing it all was 237 hours.
You could probably do that with resin as well. Put some resin in his mouth. Are you doing you're doing FDM, not resin, right?
Yeah. I don't.
When you're
I don't
doing resin, you could
I don't
actually
have
do the same
resin.
effect, and you could turn on a UV light, hand light, and
Yeah.
cool it as it drips out, so it actually hardens
Okay.
in the same center. You could probably do something like that.
Okay, I mean, I could always get a bottle of resin and a little UV flashlight.
Hey, Jerry.
Oh,
How's it going?
Perry.
How you doing? Yeah, I've been
Good,
on
how
a
you
private.
doing?
I've been on a private stream with a few people, and I've been working on my robot, and they just got off, so here I am.
You missed all the nerd talk, man.
Okay, how long you been streaming now? A couple hours?
3
Stop.
hours now. Just turned 3 hours.
Okay. Well, hello,
I'll see you.
Marcus, Mylan, how you doing?
No,
So
Brody,
I
stop.
think
You don't need to be on camera. Stop.
I think a cool 3D print would be a xenomorph skull and put it on like a wooden plaque, like you hunted it and mounted it or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that one on there too. Hold on a second. I'll get a couple pieces of it. Move. I gotta go to the other room, man.
So are you working now, Jerry?
Yep, I just got to rewire a few things tomorrow, but I got everything working good on it.
Cool. And Curmudgeon, yeah, it's not a cross section is the issue. It's the surface area of the ISS, and the small atmosphere creates more resistance because it's so large. It's the size of a football field. So Joel just went on with his ceramic printer. I actually reached out to those guys. They haven't answered me yet. They haven't replied to me.
That was so awesome. I've been waiting for almost 2 weeks for that rocket to take off. Unbelievable. And we
it landed.
landed.
It's still standing on. It's still standing there right now.
Cool. Yeah, I got a picture of it. The picture hasn't moved. Yeah.
Ethan and I high-fived. We were watching it live. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, you should get Ethan to come on one of these streams, and we can talk about science and nerd stuff because he loves that kind of stuff. He'd eat it all up.
They showed when it was coming back down that one piece of material was possibly might have been what was burning.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. But see, now they have a craft that's landed and it's intact. They can go and see what went wrong, what happened.
Yeah.
What's catching on fire. They can investigate and actually physically see it. And anything else that didn't go right, they can actually go look at it now. Instead of sifting through pieces and trying to diagnose, now they can go look at the actual craft and see what's going on.
That's cool. All the sensors. I'm sure there's tons of sensors.
Oh, that thing is lit up with sensors. I would say 5% of its mass is probably sensors everywhere. They have sensors on every joint, everywhere. And I love the hairstyle, Jerry. Put it on. Come on. Winner, wait. Turn your back, turn around. Turn around.
Yeah, I missed the launch. I was asleep.
Here's the all-new Jerry, right? Are you ready? He's going to give you a run for your money, Marcus.
Hey! Here's an old Jim from Edutech. Here's Brian Vines.
Did you see my comment on your picture the other day?
Yeah.
I said that's one hell of a comb over.
Yeah, I figured, what the hell? I got a white beard. Let's order an old white hairdo, and I can be stupid with it once in a while.
You're missing one thing. You're missing one thing: an electric guitar. Now you have the.
Oh,
yeah. You need an electric guitar is what you need, and then the scene is perfect.
I was thinking more like Conan the Barbarian or Vikings, but yeah, electric guitar would work too.
Well, with this skull feature, I would say electric guitar, but yeah, if he dressed up in something else, he would get away with it. A sword or something like that, you know.
I look like a Wookiee.
You can
remember the original
Jerry. You need this. Then you could do a Conan the Barbarian.
The original $6 million man. They had a funny looking Bigfoot on there. Kind of looked like that dude.
That was one with Lee Majors, right?
Yeah.
Now, see here, Marcus. This is it's printed in multiple colors because I'm using all my scraps. But this is just the tail here.
You could. Oh, let
That's
me
the tail
put
here.
Wait.
Oh,
There you
nice.
go.
See, that's the tail there.
It's gonna be huge.
This is the front half of the body.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's nice.
And see here, this is one of the legs. Oh Christ. This is one of the legs here without the foot on it because I'm leaving the foot off because the very tip of the tail, the claws on the feet, and a portion of the back probes coming out the back, they're gonna be sanded real smooth. And I'm gonna use the gloss black on the whole entire thing, but on the top of the skull, the dome of the skull, the portion on his back, the tip of the tail, and his claws, I'm using the all clad black chrome so they stand out. So, and then there goes the head here.
Nice. Alien. Sweet.
So it's big. So it'll be looking down from the wall like that with the drool coming out of its mouth. So
And you wake up looking at that every morning.
it's gonna freak Brody out. I'm gonna put Brody. I'm gonna put Brody out in his cage. I'm gonna put him in his cage while we hang it, and then let him come out. He gets pissed off when he sees something new. We hung up Christmas stockings. We hung up Christmas stockings for me and him. He came running into the living room and hit the brakes. And he's just there looking at me. He's looking at me. He's like, "What the hell is that, Dad?" You know. So when he sees this, he's gonna trip out. So, but yeah, I bought the Ender 3 Max, and I've been printing that the larger portions on that, and the smaller portion on the Ender 3s.
That's for you, Jerry.
All right, so it's
Biker
all
jacket. I've gained so much weight, my jacket doesn't fit me. But here's a biker jacket, leather jacket.
I still think I need a guitar.
I don't have a guitar laying around.
Print one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
But yeah, I mean,
anyone.
CNX, how are you?
Hey, I can get a sign. We'll work for food and stand on the corner, make some money.
Yep.
Push a shopping cart.
You probably could. That's so funny. What does your missus say about it?
She thinks I'm a complete idiot. I'm stupid.
But that's funny.
Yeah, she doesn't find it funny at all. Thinks you're a complete idiot. Well, why not?
Oh, I know I'm a complete idiot, but that's okay.
Well, it has my stamp of approval, Jerry.
Thank you.
That's because we're all complete idiots and we all agree with you.
Why not be different? So I'm a bald guy that once in a while wears a wig, and I got long hair. So.
Well, my view and thing, the way I see the world is, I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be different. So,
I couldn't be like everyone else.
No, I couldn't. I'm no drone. You know, I'm not a Borg drone. Professional bum is what Gold Curmudgeon calls you. He said you're a professional bum.
Professional bum.
I'm glad you have company now, but I'm going to take off
something
now.
terrible happened. Here a few weeks, a month or two ago, I sold my Spawn on Etsy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I dropped the price from 400 down to 300, 25% off. I sold it to a man in Texas. After all the Etsy fees, out of $300, I made $176. So I had to pay for shipping, and their fees are ridiculous. Well, the mailman pulls up in front of the house today, and he's got my box back. It said return to sender on it. It's a little bit beat up. And it's like, what the hell happened? So I get on Etsy. I messaged the guy about it, and he said that he went down to USPS in Texas, and they said they already returned it. They tried to deliver it on the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of last month. He didn't sign for it. He wasn't home, evidently. So they kept it till the 28th. So he waited 2 or 3 weeks, according to what I've seen online, never picked it up. So they shipped it back to me. So now if I want to reship it for free again, it's $57, which I can't pay that. I already paid free shipping the first time. So I messaged him and told him about it. And I said, if you want me to reship it, send me $57 in PayPal and I'll ship it out. So I have it in a larger box. Since the first one's a little beat up, I repackaged it in a slightly bigger box, crammed it in there, and it's a little bit more money. The dimensions changed by a ½ inch, weighs a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. And my other only alternative is just to refund him his money. And that means I got to send him back all his money, and then I lose my shipping fees and whatever else. But, it sucks. So hopefully he'll be out the $57 since he forgot to pick it up. He wasn't home to sign for it because anything that costs that kind of money, I want you to sign for the box. I insured it for $300. I don't want it just dropped off, and then you can say, well, I never received it. I want you to sign for it. So I'm waiting to hear back from him.
That sucks.
That's a tough one.
When I first messaged him, he responded right away. We talked back and forth. And then when I realized, you know what, I can't be out another $57. I already gave him free shipping the first time. That cost me $50.
Yeah, no, that's only fair because you did include the free shipping as the first part, so
yeah,
he should cover it. It was his fault for not being
not being available and then not picking it up. Yeah, and then they shipped it back to me. So,
but you gave him the tracking number, right?
Yeah.
But then he's responsible for collecting the package.
Yeah, Etsy notified him. I notified him. Yeah, it got sent right out. And I have not unboxed it to make sure the model isn't damaged. It's still packed really tight in bubble paper and popcorn. It's just the corners are kind of dented a little here and there, but it still looks fine. So
yeah. Come on, you saying it's BS.
The fees on Etsy are really ridiculous. And I've only been on there for a short time. I've only sold a few things for $20 here and there than the one big item. And of course, I have hundreds of things that I need to list somewhere. Another person was telling me about Mercari. I've never tried that site. And then another person already said, once you go over to Nico Industries, but I want to sell where your average person will see my stuff, not just people into 3D printing. If I list them on Nico, only people in 3D printing are going to know about Nico. I want your average person to buy my stuff, not 3D people, 3D printing people primarily, because most 3D printing people can make it themselves.
Yeah.
It's violated you real bad, Jerry.
Here's one, right? I was going to. I was still looking at it. I was going to send some stickers to Carl Fenton, right? You know Carl?
But I know one. Yeah, I know a Carl. I don't know which one I know.
Yeah, Carl. He's been on the stream a few times and so on. He does hang out with us, right?
Okay.
He's in the UK. I was going to send stickers to him. I packaged them up. My wife went down to send them. $20 to send stickers to the UK.
Holy smokes!
They were free. They cost me nothing, but they cost $20 to ship stickers in a little envelope to the UK.
Liam, are we talking about what sticker like I got from you?
Yeah, the NASA stickers.
Okay, my 3D HP stickers, if I send that anywhere in the world in a regular envelope, I put a $1.20 stamp on. I go to the post office, I buy stamps, they're red. I can show them to you if you want to see them. Well, I got a whole pack of them. They're $1.20 a piece, anywhere in the world, Israel, anywhere. The one guy, I forget his name. He's in chat right now, I'm sure. Yoav in Israel.
He's gone to bed.
He said his dog ate a sticker, so I mailed him another one. It cost me $1.20. Put a stamp on a regular.
See, here's the problem. The NASA stickers are a little bit big to fit in the standard envelope.
Okay.
They're a little bit tall to sit in the standard envelope.
So if you get an envelope
how do I get a sticker,
bigger,
Liam?
it shouldn't be that much more.
Sorry?
How do I get a sticker, Liam?
I can send NASA stickers. You can just message me with your address. I can send them here in the States, no problem. But I'm just telling you, I think if I do that to the UK, they'll actually charge him to pick them up.
Fold the sticker in half and put a $1.20 stamp on it and mail it.
No, if you fold it in, it's plastic. If you fold it, you can't reuse it. Oh, bye, Marcus. I didn't know. Take care.
See you later, Marcus.
No, but you can't fold it because it's plastic. It's not like a paper thing you can level out again. Because they're bigger than your stickers. So, I'll have to look and see if I can find another way of getting them out there because that was ridiculous. They were charging me $20 to send stickers to the UK.
Now, if you put them in a manila envelope, which is a little bit larger, it still should.
It was a manila envelope, and they were charging me $20.
Huh?
I'll stay on after the stream, Liam.
Sorry.
What?
I said I'll stay on after the stream, and then I can give you the information.
You're better if you email me, otherwise I'll forget stuff.
Okay.
So I'll give you my email address. Let me write it in private chat. Sorry?
I'm on my phone, so I'm not sure. I'm not on I'm blocked. The computer's hooked up to the TV, but I'm chatting with you guys on my phone.
Now, 1 second. Let's see if you see this.
Sorry to see you go, Marcus. I'll see you when I see you.
I put it in private chat. You see private chat in your phone. You should be able to see it.
Let me get a pen real quick so I can open this up.
Here, I got one for you. Here.
Oh, all right,
Thank you.
Mark, Jerry.
But the so, like sending it here is just an envelope. You just put a standard stamp on it, right? Just here in the States is easy, but like $20 to send stickers. They weigh the envelope.
Okay, go on. The shipping charges haven't way up. But go on USPS and you can figure out what will or won't work. See, look up a regular envelope anywhere in the world. It's $1.20 stamp. If you can verify that on their website and then start playing with the sizes to see how much it goes up.
Yeah, I'll have to look.
That don't make sense being that high.
Yeah, I was floored by the price. So
Tim from TH3D, I want to get a flex plate for my CR10 Max, which is like 450 by 450, and I can get it with my affiliate money. I don't have to pay for it, but I got to pay for shipping, and shipping is like $60 or $70. Like, no, that ain't gonna happen. But my wife in June is going to Florida to see her mom, or in June, for 2 months. And she can go see Trevor about an hour away from where her mom lives from Navari 3D printing. If I buy one from him, she can just put it in her suitcase and put her clothes on it and bring it home that way.
Yeah, I'll be in the. Yeah, I have to figure out something because I want to get the stickers for him because he asked about it. He got he won a printer, and it's one of what is this? The 600B? Is it the Creality one? The one with the white? It's in a white enclosure. He won that, and his kids are decorating with spacey stuff on the outside. His kids are into doing that. They're designing the outside. And I said I'd ship him some NASA stickers, but it's costing a fortune. I'm like, I refuse. Like, everything is expensive. Like, I priced some plywood the other day.
Oh no, yeah,
$60 for a sheet of an 8x4 sheet of plywood.
Yeah, I had to buy some 1/4 inch a couple months ago to build a shelf with. I wanted 5/8. It's too much money, so I had to go to 1/4 inch.
Yeah, $60 for a 1/2 inch.
It's ridiculous, and everybody's blaming everything on the pandemic. Everybody's
what it is when people are at home, right? The sudden demand for materials went up because they wanted to start doing home projects, is what it was. And it depends on the area you're in. Some states have it in plenty, and there's no problems.
And chlorine with pools, they say, is going up now. Oh, the plant burned down, so it's going up. Yeah, okay, sure.
I don't know about that, but the cost of plywood, like MDF, is cheaper than plywood right now.
Yeah,
it used to be more expensive.
Yeah, well, forest fires, I believe. Yeah, that's happened. It's always something.
Well, they're just finding ways to just keep taking money out of our pockets.
Well, it's the supply is not there. If you go into Home Depot or in some states now or Lowe's, the amount of materials they have is less than what they used to have. They don't have stacks and stacks and stacks of plywood. They have maybe 1 or 2 bales, and that's it.
Yeah.
The quantity of materials they have has actually died off an awful lot. And it's because people are buying it up in droves, and now they can't get it. But I did find a guy who is selling half sheets of ply. So I might go to him, and he's selling them cheap. Like I can get them for about $7 a half sheet. So if I can get if I can get 10 of those, I can build the shelving that I want.
I'm sure drywall probably went way up too. I had a sheet of 5/8 out in the garage the other day, and I had a small chunk out of the top of it on one side, probably about yay big, and I didn't want it in my way. I took a razor knife to it and threw it in the garbage. It was just in my way. But I could have went on Craigslist or something. I didn't want to take the time to take pictures in an ad and say, "Here, free, come get it." I just cut it up and threw it in the garbage.
Well, I somebody else was talking about how stuff being expensive. So I went out on Twitter and I put out a response post, and I said I got 8 lengths of 2x4 in the garage. I says I'm a wealthy man now. That's the price of lumber. It's crazy.
Yeah, Liam, I want to print a large version of that Falcon 9. Now that I've got that Ender 3 Max, I want to print a large version of that.
Well, you must remember when you make it bigger, it comes in multiple sections. But if you you find the tallest piece and see how big you can print that in your printer, and then do everything else to that scale, because otherwise they won't fit.
Yeah, I could always slice it in this picture.
You could, but they're designed already in pieces so they fit together really well. So I wouldn't do that. I would just size up the tallest piece to fit your printer, and then after that, scale everything the exact same amount.
As
Now,
soon as
we're-
go ahead.
Go ahead, Jerry.
As soon as somebody sees a model for SN16 where it's modified with all those little gadgets on it, let me know. I want to print it.
This is a model
Yeah, I
for
like to do that
Starship.
too.
Their newest version out.
This,
with all
well,
the
this is what they wanted to look like when they're done.
yeah.
Now, where did you get that STL at?
This is on Thingiverse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Starship, SpaceX Starship. But I'm waiting for them to finalize the design before I do a large model like I did with this.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I will eventually do a large model once they have the final design done.
Is there a somewhere other than Thingiverse where I can find those? Is there any other sites? I know NASA, don't they have a site where they have STLs?
They do, but they don't have anything SpaceX out there.
Yeah.
They'd have NASA spacecraft. And they do a weird thing. Some of them are STLs, but not all of them. Sometimes they post the original design files, and they design it in some application that you have to buy. There's no other way to open the files. But they actually post the original design files that they use when they make the 3D designs. So you need to pick and choose what you download, because it's not always an STL from the NASA site. They should always publish STLs, but they don't. So, and they offer some low resolution ones and some high resolution ones. So when you're out there, just double check before you download it. How much taller than the Saturn is Elon's rocket? They haven't decided the final height of the new spaceship with its booster, but it will be taller. It will actually carry more mass, like as in people and goods, and like cargo than the Saturn V ever could.
Well, the clouds got in the way today, but at least we got to see it come down, churn up. And the one stream I was watching that I watch all the time had a clear shot. The other stream had a foggy shot. So I'm glad I was watching the channel.
Whose channel were you watching?
Let me look real quick. It's the only guy I ever watch.
Lab Padre?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Yeah, I like his stuff too. But
yeah. He's in Germany. He's moving to Florida soon, that guy.
No, Lab Padre is not in Germany. Lab Padre he lives in Boca Chica, Texas.
Okay, let me find his name.
Yeah, I was planning on watching it, but I took a medication and passed out. So I have to go on there and watch it later.
Yeah, he does not go to the SpaceX site. You can see the stream. Because
What About It? The channel's called What About It. That's my favorite guy.
I don't know him.
What About It? Now you do.
Yeah. No, I like Lab Padre because he's 24-hour a day streaming live from there, and multiple cameras. And then I also like, but I'll go to this when they're actually launching. I go to SpaceX because they have cameras in places that the other guys can't get to on the craft, and you get to see a view that nobody else will see.
I put it in private chat. Click on him, and then when you get a chance later, check him out or subscribe just for the hell of it. I like his stuff. He's very interesting.
Yeah, I just opened a link to him now.
It's called What About It?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got real good streams. He's a real good talker, and he currently lives in Germany. He's really into SpaceX. He's moving to Florida here soon.
Well, if he's into SpaceX, he should be moving to Texas.
So I don't know what his reasoning is.
That's going to be Texas. Is going to be the launch point.
Oh, hey, Sandy, I got a bone for you. There you go. Forgot about it.
But if he wants to be, if he's in like near anywhere near Sao Paulo Island, not Sao Paulo, Lab Padre Island is where he needs to be if he wants to watch the SpaceX stuff.
One thing I'm concerned about these rockets being so tall is that, let's say they go to Mars, they land. I don't think the moon does. Obviously, the moon don't have an atmosphere. Land on Mars. What if there's like in one of these movies where a big dust devil or storm comes up and it goes bloop, boom?
That's a good point, Jerry.
Then you're stranded. And even if you have legs on it, they can only withstand so much wind until they blow over.
No. Let me explain why.
They drill down in the ground and they anchor themselves.
No, not even close. Here's the situation. The atmosphere on Mars, like we have storms here because of air pressure. So we get hurricanes because of high air pressure, right? the atmosphere on Mars is a fraction of what we have here on Earth. 1% of our atmosphere. It's so thin. They're so by 1% of atmosphere, I mean, for every cubic meter of inside in the box, the number of air molecules in there, and there's actually mostly CO2, but the number of air molecules in there are so small. There's so few of them. It's 1% of what's in it would be on Earth's atmosphere if you had the same box here, right? So, the amount of air molecules in that space is so little that there is no such thing as a strong wind on Mars. Yes, here I am. That's me. That's what Jerry thinks I look like. So, thanks, Jerry. So, I'll give you an example, right? Put your hand out in front of you and bend up your palm, like this. Go do it. Arm's length. Now, blow at your hand, not too hard. Like, you feel the amount of air touching your hand?
Yeah.
That's a 60-mile-per-hour wind on Mars.
Okay.
Because there's no pressure behind it. It is not dense enough, the atmosphere, to move anything that much. Now,
TV 3D Dan, he's
hey
lurking.
Dan, how are you? Why send them to your PO box? Explain.
Yeah, Dan, when I send a sticker in a regular envelope, it costs me $1.20 stamp. Liam's are bigger for some reason. He said it's like his wife said it's $20. But a regular envelope I can send anywhere in the world for $1.20.
They're caused by low pressure, but it's the amount of atmosphere. Our atmosphere is dense enough to be able to push stuff, whereas Mars' atmosphere is not.
Well, I watch too much sci-fi when you see all these storms on Mars and everything. And everything's blowing away. And
well, see, you need to have enough molecules to apply pressure to move something, right?
And then I hear that SpaceX can't land on Mars with its thrusters. It'll blow too much debris everywhere that they got to use they can't use their engines. They got to use their thrusters and, land like that very carefully, get up away from the planet before they can fire their engines because they'll blow too much debris everywhere, which might affect our satellites and everything else. They were talking about that today.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Dan? You're llama number 2 now?
Are you at Llama's house?
No, actually, I was just getting ready to go to bed, and I was getting ready to say goodbye and chat, and I caught the comment about the stickers. Yeah, I was talking to my wife. What we're going to do is for all of the for everybody who is part of the community that's from overseas that wanted stickers, the thought was we would just have everybody send stickers here. We'll put packs together and just send them out to everybody. That way, instead of sending like one sticker and it costing $20, it might be 8 stickers. It may cost $21, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So Jerry's got his gray hair finally.
He had it, and he lost it, and he found it again.
Yeah, but no, that's the whole thought of it. It's just this like there's a bunch of us over here.
That's adding expense on you guys then.
Doesn't matter. I mean, like, we just want to, get some stickers out there because, like, I know that there's a lot of people in the community that are from overseas that it's a pain in the butt for us to get stickers out to them. So we figured, if people just want to send them here and then, even if we just send out a few at a time here and there, you know what I mean? Like, get us the stickers. We'll put the packs together. We'll send out, maybe a few here, a few there, but we'll get them all sent out that way. As people from overseas want them, they can get them.
I selectively give away stickers because I had to pay, what I had to pay for them, and then I have them on my Etsy store for like $1.50 a piece or whatever they are. But I get that much. I just figure if there's anybody who wants to just send stickers, like if you get a deal on them, if we find deals on Sticker Mule and whatnot, if you get a deal on stickers and you want to send some, just get them. And if you want to just order them, have them sent straight to the PO box. If you go to a 3D printing show, the worst thing you can do would be to put a stack of them on your table because everybody just grabs one. They're gone in 5 minutes. When they get done with them, half of them probably go in the garbage because a lot of people don't.
Marcus, if you're still on, Marcus, if you're still on, I'm going to shoot Liam my information, and if you can get it from him. And tell me what it costs, and I'd like to get a couple stickers from you too.
Yep.
Well, but it's kind of
I'm
crazy.
doing
The
the
pricing.
gym. This is called the gym.
Yep.
I'm going to look at another ways to package it first. But costing that amount of money is stupid, you know. Like if people were traveling, I could give it to somebody going overseas and they just post it in country. But
Yeah. But
And Dan, Dan, I'll hit you up on the phone, send you a message, and I'd
Yeah.
like to get a couple of stickers from you too.
yeah, not a problem, man. I will get them. I'll get some sent out to you. I got a bunch still. But on that note, gentlemen, I was getting ready, like I said, popping in to say good night. I'm going to bed. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Have a great day.
Have a good one, Dan.
Later.
that's
And
nice.
I was showing off I was talking about one of my Pi 3s here. I have in a clear case. It's a Pi 3. They're clear acrylic cases. This one fell apart and got very dusty. And when you don't clean your cases, they look like this. Look how dirty that is. This is on one of my
that's dirty.
CR10s. And I just plug it in. I start printing, and I got to put the case back together and obviously clean it. But yeah.
Or you cut yourself a new case in your laser.
Yeah, I need to take it out in the garage and blow it out. So, but a long time ago when I started using Pi 3s, like 4 years ago, a couple of my CR10s, they were pausing during the print. It's like, why in the hell does it keep pausing? And once I put a fan on it and on the chip, it quit pausing. So now every Pi I get, I put a fan on it.
Yeah, and you really need a fan on the 4s, a fan on the Pi 4.
Yeah,
I have some Pi 4 gigs and 8 gigs.
That's Pi 3s.
I have one or two Pi 3s.
They're called Canna kits. They're $75.
Yeah.
On Amazon.
Yeah, that's what I got. So I often get those, but I don't get it with the case because I print my own cases.
Yeah, I get them with the case and I just throw them in a box. I got a whole bunch of them laying around.
Yeah,
I guess I could line up cases and put my little yellow ducks on top of all the cases.
from all of your from your BTT stuff.
Yeah.
Pause with the throttling from heat. Yeah, that's true. It does down throttle the processor when it gets too hot. It's to try and save the processor from overheating and burning out.
You got a fire, Mylan, or are you smoking?
Smoking.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, well, see again. I'm gonna try it again later this week. I might try a different post office, and see what it costs to send. I might see if I can squeeze them into the standard envelope, but I don't think they will. I think they're too big.
Canna kit wall warts are crap. You don't like the Canna kits, the Pi 3s that I've been buying for years? Is there something much better, old curmudgeon, I should have been buying?
Pi 3 is Pi 3. It doesn't matter where you buy it from.
Yeah, I think they're 3Bs.
I use a Pi 4 for my Octoprints.
Well, if I buy something new, I might look at doing something different, but everything I bought in the past has been a Pi 3B. I think that's what they are. I'd have to look on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah, but I use the 4s is what I've been buying 4s. And like I have one like for my all sky camera is a Pi 4 8 gig. My Pi camera for my telescope control is a 8 gig Pi 4 as well. I wish they came out with a 16 gig version because I could use that processing, that memory, you know.
Yeah, I took one of them off a 3D printer and I reflashed I added some different files on the SD card, and I've got that in my what do you call it, arcade cabinet. I got like 5,000 games on it or something.
Oh yeah, that's called RetroPie.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a RetroPie.
Yeah.
You know, you can buy a RetroPie as a kit, pre-ready, pre-done from Micro Center. They've actually now they actually went down and got the license to distribute the games, because legally the games that you have in a RetroPie are actually illegal. All right, but they have Micro Center have got the agreement with the game companies. They went out and did the research and chased these guys down and got permission to include games on the SD card with the Pi. So they actually sell a RetroPie setup.
Cool.
Already done.
Well, I probably have all knockoff games. I wouldn't want to have illegal ones on there. That'd be wrong, right?
Knockoff illegal. But yeah, they're so that's how they operate. But it's kind of cool that they've done that now, so it's available to anybody. Because people used to be offering the setups, you know, to sell it to you on Craigslist and all these places.
Yeah.
But now most of that stopped now because you can just go and buy it at Micro Center as a open the box, plug it in, they're done.
Well, I know at Walmart you can even buy the little mini machines, but it only has one game on it. They're cool. They got stickers on them and stuff, and they look really neat. They're like $300, $200 to $400, and they got a pinball one they're coming out with. It's like $500. It's really cool, but it's limited on what it has on it. The pinball one I think is like $500. It's got a big TV screen on it.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Well, you could build that with a flat screen monitor.
You can, and I've seen videos on it, but the one they're coming out with for like $600, it'd be cheaper just to buy it and try to build it.
Okay.
Now, what's the benefit? I always hear about Octopi and Octoprint, stuff like that. What's the benefit of that? Just having the camera to watch the printers?
No.
You can monitor your temperatures. You can load your files from your computer across the room. You don't have to go over, put on an SD card, pop it in, start it on the screen. You sit there and you run everything from your screen.
Oh, okay.
It network connects your printer, and it also does a camera option and all this kind of stuff. But the biggest thing is it network connects and allows you to monitor your print remotely
in your browser or any computer.
But the new printers are coming with network connections on them. So with those newer printers, the only thing you'll be they're even talking about offering cameras with them, so you'll be able to monitor your job remotely as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So the newer printers are coming out with that.
I was just going to get the Creality Wi-Fi box and their Creality camera.
No. Creality Wi-Fi box. You have to upload your files to their cloud to print it. You cannot use curated slicer. You cannot do any of that.
But I mean, just to monitor, just using the camera to monitor the print.
No, you have to run the job through their system to be able to do anything with it.
Okay, well that's worthless.
I don't know anybody that's got one of their boxes to work yet.
I have one here. What's that? Is that just your underwear over your face?
No, this is my man. I'm ready for Walmart, baby. I'm going to Walmart and going shopping. Shopping.
I thought it was your underwear over your face.
Come on. This wig is a cool idea. Look at this.
Yeah, you should. You would fit right in at Walmart.
Yeah, Jerry, but if those were your underwear, you might want to go to a doctor because you got something going on.
As a matter of fact, when we went to Walmart today, I had my wife buy me socks, underwear, shoes, and I got some rawhide for my dogs. And then she came home and figured out how much of it I got to pay her back. Oh, and then we went by Cane's and got chicken strips and fries, and she got a lemonade. Cane's has good food. Cool. I think it's overpriced, but it's really good.
I have something I wanted to run by you, Jerry. I brought it up earlier, but you weren't on.
What's that?
There's a new printer coming out, a resin printer, and I know you're the resin king, right?
No, I'm not a resin. I print a lot of resin, but I'm not a king.
But the new printer has got a built-in camera, and it's network connected. The whole printer is, so you can monitor your job remotely.
My Anycubic is network connected, but I've never tried to get it to work. I've heard a few other people that have tried it and they couldn't get it set up. I haven't tried. I just put everything on a S flash drive, USB stick. I walk in there, plug it in, start it.
Yeah, but this new printer, it'll be a Kickstarter later in the year. Okay, I can't take it seriously.
Jerry, you're all set for Halloween.
But this new printer will have a built-in network camera, so you can send your print files to the printer remotely, and you can monitor your print job. I haven't had an answer yet, but I've asked them. Let's see if they give me an answer yet. I've asked, will it have time-lapse ability? I haven't been given. Let me see if I got an answer, because I messaged last night. I didn't get an answer yet.
There's nowhere in the cabinet that you can put a camera that's properly going to see it for a time lapse. It needs to be out in front of it, unless it mounts on the outside and something crazy.
I don't know.
The top needs to be off. It has to be back. It can't be. It couldn't be right up on top of it. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, I don't know where it is, but I know they have a camera in it. I don't know the details of that. I haven't seen it. I will be getting one in the next couple of weeks, I'm guessing.
Cool.
So I'll have more details then. I will do an unboxing of the printer. It's a 4K resin.
I need an IDEX printer from somebody to do some videos on, but I haven't got one yet. It hasn't showed up in the mail.
Who did you? Who?
No one's got back with me, and a few people said, "Nope, you're too small. Nope, you're too small." So
did you try? Did you try Soval? Because they have a new one coming out.
Soval, that's where the guy just quit, right?
Yeah, but you'll deal with the.
If I deal with somebody different, then it might be different. But no, I haven't.
Yeah, try them because, I know I'm not getting one from them, but or at least they haven't mentioned it to me. But they have a new IDEX, the SV04. It's an IDEX printer that's coming.
How many people do you have watching? I can't tell. I don't have YouTube up.
11 is what.
11 people watching. Do you think I should do a complete video like this? I mean, take the mask off and just go.
Yes.
Look here.
Because
if you never seen me before, you might believe this, right?
Yeah, you should do it. I think it'd be funny.
Say my cousin came. I was thinking my wife set up Jenga earlier on the table. I could go tape it and play myself. I could be Jerry, Mr. Clean on one side, and then put on the wig and film me with the other camera over here, and go back and forth. Take a while, but I'll make a video out of it.
You could, yeah. But it'd be funny to. I think a stream like that would be funny. I think if you do an unboxing, you should do it in the outfit.
How many subscribers do you have? You're not monetized yet, are you?
Oh, I'm only 300 and something.
Okay, so if I play music, is that okay?
Yeah, I'm not monetized.
Okay, I know, but if you're ever monetized, then this will be demonetized for any kind of music.
Yeah, but who's gonna? But like,
10 seconds.
Who's gonna monetize a Hangout?
Well, no, everything you monetize everything you do. I monetize every single one of my.
I know, but like, who? Nobody's gonna actually give money on.
No, people watch it. Videos, commercials show up. You make money off every single thing you do.
Oh, okay.
So you want commercials on everything you do when you can get monetized, because with donations and commercials, you'll start getting checks in the mail and you go, wow, that's cool. Just imagine if I was Joe Telling how much money I'd be bringing in. I could have a Tesla in the driveway. I could buy a better house.
Yeah.
Well, I like my house though.
Well,
I could move to Vegas and drive Jerry crazy.
Yeah. Well, if you ever come visit, you're welcome to come visit, hang out, and we go get a bite to eat or something.
Sure. If I'm ever in Vegas, I will.
So has anybody heard anything about Murph?
No. I used to go to Vegas once a year for work events, but they've stopped all of that.
It's supposed to be in September, and I wouldn't go this year if I could afford it, because even the people that are going to show up, if you're going to spend the money to go there, unless you're already close, it'd be best for me living so far away to wait till next year when there'll actually be a lot of people there from around the world to meet. So even if it's probably going to be this year in September, but I think it's going to be a lot smaller from what I've heard, because a lot of people are afraid to go or won't go. We'll just wait till next year. So,
because Goshen is only 3 hours from me. My sister used to live up there, up in Elkhart, up in Goshen, so it's only 3 hours from me. But I'd hop on a bus and get all my transportation, everything set up, the hotel set up, and go up there. But yeah, you're right though. I mean, it's good to wait till the following year so more people will be there.
Yeah, that's good. I think that really good. I think, yeah. Now you actually have to have a guitar in your hand.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Jerry, how many prescribers do you have to have before you can become monetized?
1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So once you get to subscribers, then you have to wait 2 or 3, 4 months to get enough watch hours. Then you become monetized. And then every time you do a video or live stream, you go into your settings on the back end in YouTube Studio and you monetize each one of your videos.
Oh, okay.
People like Joe Telling make big money out of it.
Yes, and I heard people used to make a lot more money, and then they crippled a lot of it. People don't make as much as they used to, but it's worthwhile to invest the time, do good content. Hopefully, you get a lot of people like it and subscribe, and which costs nothing to subscribe. And then over time, it can make you a decent amount of money, but you got to do a lot of legwork, a lot of videos. That's why some people only live stream and don't do videos. It takes a lot of time. My last video was 10 minutes long. And other than printing all week long, it took me 2.5 days to edit it. And that was kind of a fast edit. It wasn't that professional. I'm learning as I go. I'm using a new program called DaVinci Resolve right now. And I'm using a free version. It's a professional program that movie studios around the world, television stations use, a lot of different people. You just got to learn how to do this and do that, and slowly learn little tricks here and there.
Yeah,
and
I've got 2,000 views, Jerry. I've only got 369 watch time hours, and I have 350 subscribers.
Yeah, put out more video content. All I can suggest. Just live streaming won't do it. You need to put out videos. Just do more videos.
I know. I need to do more of them, but I need to have stuff to do, and I have more stuff coming up.
When I first got into 3D printing, I should have done a lot of videos back then. I just did them occasionally. They were corny, and then I try to get better a little here and there. And it sucks, and you put in a lot of time making the video, putting out the content, and it's like, wow, I've had 30 likes in the last month. That sucks. When the big YouTubers in 30 minutes or an hour might have 10,000, but it just takes time. And if I was skinny and I had boobs, then I would have 1 million subscribers, but I'm not, and I don't.
Yeah, I still plan on doing a channel, but there's a few things I gotta get. I gotta get one of the tables where the legs fold up underneath it, so I can put it away, and I gotta get I got a better camera. So, because I'm in an apartment, so I don't have a separate room.
Yeah.
I set the stuff up in, but I can have work when one of my aides are here. They can get the table out for me, get it set up, get everything I need set up on there, then go ahead and make the video, and then do it like that. So there's a few more things I got to get first.
Well, we're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes, guys, because it's almost 11 o'clock for me.
Yeah.
And
alrighty then.
I've been on.
Wonderful you having me. I really appreciate it.
Jerry, you need to get a blonde one, and you do. Oh yeah, do a Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, baby. This is
kind of remind me of.
That's so
Remember
funny.
Wolfman Jack, Jerry?
Wolfman Jack. Yeah, I don't remember how he talked, but yeah, I remember Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, remind me of him.
So, you should have got a blonde one. You can do a Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap it up. I know you were busy.
Wait a minute.
What?
Old Curmudgeon said he's going to be right back. If you leave now, he won't know you left.
But he'll come in and I won't be here, so he knows I'm left.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching you was building a printer one day, and you had to mess with your camera. You walked around your desk. I hit the pause button, and I didn't know it. I sat there for 45 minutes working on other things, and you didn't come back on. The chat kept moving.
Really?
So
Did that really happen?
You was already printing.
Did that really happen?
Yeah, that really happened. It happened to that bald-headed dude that was here a little bit ago.
Oh, that's so funny. You hit the pause
I'm telling you. Unbelievable.
That's so funny.
And now you tell my wife why I shouldn't have bought this wig.
I never said that. I said it was a good idea. But that's so funny. You hit the pause button and you missed 45 minutes. How it was paused.
Yeah, Liam, I'll shoot you an email tonight.
Yeah.
Or lay down so that way you have it. So.
Okay. Yeah. And now that we ended on a high note, laughing about Jerry hitting the pause button.
Yeah.
So when are you going live next, Jerry? Jerry, when are you going live next?
I don't know. What's today? Wednesday?
Yep.
Oh yeah, live stream Friday at 4:00 Pacific. We're working on the droids, and we'll be streaming on 4 different channels. We'll have 5 different awesome people on there, and please stop by my channel, like, subscribe, or have all the channels running. But come by to my channel and hang out and have them all running.
Sure.
So,
yep.
When we multi-stream, it's hard because the audience is broke up on all the channels instead of all them coming to one channel. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun Friday, and then I'll probably do another hangout on Saturday.
what you should do is you should rotate. You do one person 1 week, you do another person another week, and that way then you get all the audience.
The reason we quit rotating is because I can only stream to 3 locations at 720p on what I pay with StreamYard, $25 a month, and I'm only in 720p. DeWitt can do up to eight or 9 channels, and he's in 1080p. So we can multi-stream to multiple channels.
Yeah, no, you're misunderstanding me. If you did just your channel this week and then Sam's channel only next week and Tim's the channel the week after, you get all the audience that comes in, and what it does is they all can subscribe to your channel.
We originally tried that, but since we have 4 channels we're streaming to, we can't do that because I can't multi-stream to so many channels.
You don't have to. I'm not saying multi-stream. I'm saying do it out to one only each week.
Everybody else didn't want to do that.
Well, see, that would be the sensible, because if you have 5 people, let's say you had 20 or 30 people in your channel, Jerry.
I know.
And he has 20 or 30. The follow, like if you all did it together, you'd have
everybody's jumping from channel to channel and it's liking, subscribing while we're there. We tried that originally, and then the other people, other than the bald-headed dude that usually sits here, they wanted to go a different route. So I have to kind of go. The bald-headed dude has to kind of go along with what they want to do. So,
well, it's a pity, because I think you'd actually get more subscribers that way, because you'd bring the people from the other channels into your channel each week, rather than me being on Jerry's and Mylan being on tripods and all this good stuff. We'd go there because we were on their other person's channel, we could subscribe while we're out there, and then the next week we'd subscribe to the other people, and that way then we know when each one is going live, and it actually helps spread the wealth across all the channels. Yeah, it promotes all the channels.
And Friday, the bald-headed dude might have this wig on Friday too.
That would be funny, and I come to watch that. Just that alone would be worth it.
Yeah, last week, or no, we haven't. It's been 2 weeks since we've done the live stream on all 4 channels.
Yeah,
and during the course of us talking, at some point somebody muted me. That really irritated me because no one ever fessed up to it. But I was trying to say something to somebody that was already talking, because you know how sometimes you have to interrupt to get your 2 cents in.
Yeah.
Or you get frustrated unless somebody makes you big, and kind of everybody's watching everybody else. I got muted. I never did find out who muted me, but somebody else had muted me, because we all log in like we're DeWitt. We use his email and we all log in so we all can control the stream just like you. So if I go to StreamYard and I hit log out, I go to log in, I type in your email, Liam, it'll send you a code. You give me the code. Then when I log in, I'm just like you. You could be building something and I can run chat, pull stuff up on the screen, and I can run it. And then when we're all done, we simply leave. And then when I log out, then in order to get back in, I have to have another code by logging in through whoever's email.
Yeah.
So
now, what do you do on Twitter, Liam?
Sorry?
What do you do on Twitter?
He twiddles.
I twit. I'm a twit.
Okay. No, I didn't know if you did another type of stream or something that.
No, I did do a little bit at first, but now I'm just concentrating all my streams onto YouTube.
Yeah.
I was doing on Twitter and I was doing Facebook all at the same time.
You can't build YouTube if you're like I was doing Facebook also. People need to come to YouTube.
I have a service that will send out the live stream to 20 different locations, but I'd rather draw, like as Jerry just said, I'd rather draw everybody into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because once you grow it, all your effort will be worth it when you get monetized, and then when you get donations or whatever. Even though YouTube takes 30%, hopefully people pay you through PayPal. But yeah, it all helps.
Yeah.
And I'm on a fixed income, and I make X amount of dollars every month. And a couple weeks into every month, I'm broke waiting on the first again because I can't afford what I do now. So when I get $1 or $5 from anybody, it helps immensely. Like Mylan gave me $5 the other day. That really is awesome.
He gave me $5 today.
Oh, awesome!
And thanked many times, and I thank you again.
I appreciate it.
It'll probably be next month before I do my first one. I've already got it planned out. I'm going to do it. I know 10 people have done it on the Industry Max already, but I found some pretty substantial problems with it. Well, substantial to me, and it can cause you to be shut down until you get new stuff ordered in. And it's best when you order it. If you buy the Industry Max, you should automatically buy these pieces with it, and I'm gonna explain why. So that's coming in the first video. So
Mylan, did you send me your address yet?
no, not yet. Give me
You
one
got my
second.
email address, right?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll get it sent to you. Hold on a second.
No, you have to. No, like you don't have to send it just now. I just want to make sure you do send it to me because you want some of the NASA stickers. I don't have an awful lot left, so I want to give them to you while I have them.
Okay, when I send the email, it's going to be coming from Brody W101 at yahoo.com.
Sure.
I'm using Brody's email address. Let me get my pen real quick. I'll do it right now. I'm on my keyboard. And let me do it right now.
I need to send that on to. I need to send that address to Ethan, the Marcus as well.
Yeah. Let me click in the mail right here real quick.
I know, no rush, as long as it comes. I just want to make sure that it does come. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up, guys.
Okay.
No. We'll have hopefully maybe next week we'll have the ball guy back on from that weird ball guy from Vegas. But right now we have this weird stoned out head rocker who's hanging out with us tonight. So thanks all for hanging out with us. It was fun as always. We had some big geeky moments. That's fun for me. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And remember, I'll be here on next Wednesday, same time, same place. And hopefully I'll get some machines in the next week or two and we can get some more reviews done and get some more live unboxings done in the next couple of weeks. So guys,
thanks for having me, guys.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm so glad I have a mute button to mute him now.
Party on!
Like, subscribe, click that thumbs up, guys, and make sure you get notified when I'm back online. Have a good one. Stay safe, stay healthy, guys, and stay printing.
Later.
Thank you, and have a good one.
All right, have a good one, Lamb. We'll see you next Wednesday or on somebody else's stream.